18 rounds and a couple of days of finals come down to this. It is grand final day here at the Cambridge Bowls Club for the Tuesday competition, and it is going to be a magnificent day. Yes, it is Wednesday, but it's the Tuesday competition finals right here at Cambridge. And brought to you by the professionals, of course, with their wonderful sponsorship of all of our pennant competitions. Clive Adams here. I am joined by Ken Pride, the Bowls WA CEO. How are you, Ken?
Morning, Clive. Very well. Looking forward to, as always, ladies' grand final day. Always a colourful day.
Yeah, it's a massive day. There's players all over all three greens because we've got finals right through the grades. We've got Osburn Park taking on Mosman Park for the pennant here in the Premier League competition. The players are just completing their roll-ups and then we will be into it. Across the greens, we have playing in the First Division White grand final, Morley taking on Leeming. The First Division Blue South is Warnbro taking on Manning. First Division Blue North, it's Mount Lawley versus Wanneroo. I think Wanneroo are going for 3 in a row in the One Blue North competition. Second Division flag is between Rossmoyne and South Perth, and the Third Division flag between Como and Sorrento. We'll do our best to keep you up to date with all of the aggregates as they unfold, but our primary focus will be right here on the Osburn Park and Mosman Park matchup. It is a stunning day here. It's going to be a warm one, Ken, but there is a breeze, and I think we'll probably be done and dusted before the real heat hits.
Yeah, quite a significant breeze at the moment. Those who know the Cambridge Bowling Club blowing from the Floriat Forum shopping centre directly across the green towards the clubhouse. And I said that's reasonably strong. So the rinks, of course, they're using, Clive, 1, 2 and 3 will cop most of the breeze. It'll be interesting to see how the telecast plays out on one. As you mentioned, it's a tricky rink to play on, particularly if the breeze is up.
It can be. We won't give away too many secrets too early, but it can be a tricky one to find the line on. You've just got to believe what you see when you're on rink one, because the rink does play some tricks with the wind around the clubhouse and things like that. So we'll keep an eye on that as this one evolves. It's been a massive season, Ken, and of course Osburn Park. Well, they finished on top, but they finished on top in rather unique circumstances.
Yes, well, really, Manning had dominated the competition all year. Got to the final round 18. Unfortunately for them, when a duck egg dropped the 6 points, and their nemesis, Aussie Park, complete opposite, grabbed all 6 and finished on top by the single point, which of course gave Aussie Park the home ground advantage on Monday.
Yep, and then Monday went the way of Osborne Park, so they made their way straight into the grand final, and that left Manning and Mosman Park to do battle yesterday, and that was an entertaining one.
Yeah, well, there was some margins out early. It certainly seemed halfway through the game from the mail we received that Manning were quite dominant, particularly the Lara Butler Lisa Featherby rink, which Lara was more than comfortably in front. Look at the end result, and never to be denied, Lisa Featherby stormed home to actually grab that point, and more importantly, in finals, Clive grabbed the aggregate.
All right, well, that brings us to today's matchup. So Osburn Park taking on Mosman Park. Of course, Mosman Park, the defending champions. They broke through last year after so many tries.
Look, I think it was double figures in the end that they'd gone down to Manning. Quite an extraordinary statistic that you could play in so many grand finals, and many of those that we've seen, Clive, were in winning positions, and yet the Manning side found a way, as good sides do, to get over the top of them. But different story now. Obviously, a little bit different the personnel with the open gender on Saturdays. But to their credit, Mozzies have come the long way through the first semi, and well, I'm not sure that they're going to be favourites, but they're certainly the side that have got the grand final experience under their belts.
And for Osborn Park, well, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Extraordinary. Doug Kelly, our president, has had a quick peek at the board. 1985, 86.
40 years.
That's extraordinary, and you just seem to see Osborn Park playing finals every year. Not necessarily the grand final, but first final, second semi and preliminaries, but to not win one in 40 years is, I would have lost a bet on that one.
All right, so the matchup we have for you is for Osborn Park, Caitlin Tyrrell skippering. Cheryl Tyrrell, Terry Barretts and Sandy Tope. And for Mosman Park, Lisa Featherby, skippering with Claire Hughes, Jenny Gallotti and Wendy Stower. So that is our lineup. The players are just completing their roll-ups. Just the skippers to play their roll-up bowls, and then we will be into it. As you can see on your screen, you will have the rink scoreboard, and we also have the aggregate on the screen for you. So we'll keep you completely up to date as this one evolves. Of course, 21 ends, 63 ends in total across the three rinks. Oh, I'm getting corrected that it is Stour. Okay, Wendy Stour. Okay, thank you, Doug.
So what do you think of the specific skipper matchup? So Featherby v. Caitlin Tyrrell, I suppose it's experience on one hand and I guess the young and up-and-comer, if you like, on the other.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting, isn't it? So you've got, look, Caitlin can take it to the all of the grades. She's done that over the years, and well, Lisa Featherby as a skipper in pennant competition is probably the if not the best at it, is certainly right up there, and showed that yesterday even when trailing by a massive margin, the experience there and the know-how and the confidence still comes through, doesn't it? So, and then the other matchups, you got Helen Stevens against Chris Ace Watson and Pam Chalmers against Denise Kelly. So they're great matchups at the skippers' ends, and all of those players are capable of playing the big shots under the pump.
Yeah, I think Featherby, in many respects, is the talisman, but talis person, I suppose you have to say that now, of the Mosman Park side. She's the one that's up and about. She's the one that's cheering bowls across the rink. She's the one that shows probably the most emotion when she grabs a particularly good shot. So she's one we were pleased, I suppose, to get on the live stream today. She really is the emotional barometer, if you like, of Mosman Park. And we should say we had nothing to do with the rink that landed on this rink. It was done purely as the rink draw, and however it comes down. And now we will get underway. So you'll notice the Aussie Park bowls are the ones with the stickers on, and we look forward to a massive grand final. Here we go. It's going to be Mosman Park to start with Wendy Stour. Just while Wendy's getting herself close, we better just mention there was a grand final, in fact, yesterday in our fourth division. Yes. So the girls and the mixed were out there yesterday, and pretty close going. There was a wide margin, only a two-rinker, but a wide margin. End up favouring Pickering Brook, 43, defeating Bull Creek AFA 39. So that was at Bull Creek as well. At Bull Creek, so up on the car park. So well done to the Pickering Brook side for grabbing that fourth division Tuesday flag yesterday. All right, Jack's in place. Let's go. This is going to be a really interesting battle. And Wendy to get us started. Going to the backhand side in this direction. That's the hand I would expect most of the players to start on. In this direction. The green has been rolled in the last couple of weeks, and it is running an absolute treat. And look at this start from Wendy Stour. Perfect. She's always up there in the rankings. When I do those rankings across the top leads and things like that, Wendy always features. Doesn't matter if it's midweek competition, weekend competition, the name Wendy Stour always comes up. Yeah, good old competitor, that's for sure. And one of those days today, funnily enough, Clive, is just in the last 5 minutes, the breeze seems to have dropped off a touch. It was quite blustery before the roll-up, but going to be a hot day, so I expect that easterly to drop off at some stage, but already it may have done so. Now we'll leave absolutely perfect conditions for at least the first several ends of the game. Certainly will. Wendy looking to back up her good work with her first. Sandy had good weight, so we'll just look to correct that line, and look at this running on. This green's running beautifully. And great shots from Wendy there. Be a temptation to change hands, but as a lead, don't need to. Now Sandy will just try and get out to a slightly wider line. The weight was good. We're certainly arriving, Clive. If she got the line, she'd be very close here. Super effort. Look at that. Well, unlucky. Without the little edge of the bowl, would have had a nice trail of the jack. But it wasn't to be. Good crowd early, Clive. It's just building. Obviously, there's a lot of traffic about early, 8:30, 9 o'clock, city traffic and so on, but the crowd will build, as it always does, for ladies' grand final day.
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest to get here this morning, I have to say. So both teams have already now switched to this forehand side. Now, the forehand side, regardless of the breeze, will turn.
There's good weight here. Whether it holds is a different question.
They need to land. I think it's finding the gap.
Well,
super effort. Well, there's a little bit of an opportunity building at the back of the rink, Ken, for Aussie Park.
Yeah, I'm sure Elise would love Jenny just to get that jack. And I think she's put her foot down as almost a saver, but I think she'd love it just to nick that jack back behind Wendy Stower's bowls. Played this pretty well. She just needs to arrive on that back bowl. That's fairly well where Lisa was chasing it. That's a good shot and counts.
Terry Barrett's didn't seem awfully happy when she let that go. It's the line that she's concerned about, and rightly so. Now the challenge comes here, and this is a good call from Lisa. Doesn't want to go and land another one down there on the forehand right next to the jack and set anything up here. There's gaps. We've already seen Terry find the gap once. So backhand, well, backhand was the call. Of course, it's forehand because Claire is a left-hander. So can Claire find a way all the way here? Just needs to run now. She's played it really well.
It's working back really well. That's another, Clive. That's the shot. It's a solid 4. You don't need this pressure, do you, as your 3 in your very first end. Can play with confidence, though. Just needs, as you said, Clive, just got to get that line.
That line is tight here.
Yeah, that's another
you
one.
You have to trust that forehand in this direction.
Goodness, that's effectively out of bounds.
A little bit nervous, I think.
She'd love to cover that back Osburn Park bowl here and still count.
It's a huge opportunity building, isn't it, early on for Mosman Park.
It's nice and high, Clive.
This will get all the way down. This will get all the way back. Look at this.
Super pair from Claire Hughes. That's 5.
Close down the target slightly.
Well, she correct, take a bit more of that grass, or she overcorrect and throw it out a little too wide? It's a big bowl, though.
Must give this a chance. Got trails available, got landing of bowls available. It's close. This is very close to the jack.
There's a hole there, Clive.
There's the gap we talked about. We talked about leaving that gap. And whilst Claire got another couple in there, she still did leave that gap. And 5 shots on the changeover. And pressure on Caitlin Tiller right from the start.
Now, we're shutting that door, Clive, on that forehand. A foot short in line would make it really tough for Caitlin, or you're still covering and counting on that backhand. Now, perhaps a foot or so past Claire's bowl. She get in here at the back bowl and still count. She's playing the backhand. I guess that.
Oh yeah, well there's no chance she want to be playing forehand. Doesn't want to widen that target. As you say, just in behind, even too far behind, still useful.
Well, it's certainly running.
And
that'll be
wants a clear run now.
Back bowl.
Yeah, well that's a great spot.
Mixed them all up. It's
not about needing to add more. It's about having the cover in case Caitlin gets the jack here, because Caitlin has a licence to reach here. She has to reach. She can't try and draw the shot. Must try and reach and land bowls or trail. It's on a wideish line.
Good effort here, Clive.
Looks like it's just going to be on the outside, though.
Yep.
Great effort. And I think that's the weight. It feels like that's the way she has to play. I mean, she can come back to... There is a draw shot there. And if you were leading, you would draw to the jack in this situation, and you would just draw.
Now, there is some, given the bowl's turning, there is a little shelf there to work off.
The other option is to go for the pack of 4 bowls and try and get a few out, but generally not the way we see the female game evolve.
Lisa, a pretty high line again. She's effectively back. She sit this back bowl and get a counter. No, she won't. That's a good spot though, Clive.
Okay, so weight off was the call.
So early pressure.
Cheryl, so this is going to be just a draw shot.
Early pressure. Yep, steps back off the mat.
This is not easy. So has she taken a little bit of weight off it? She has. Has she taken too much off it?
Yeah, she has.
Needs it to run all the way. It's not going to. Might have cut some out, though. Might have cut this back to 3, which wouldn't be a bad result. I think it'll only be 3, Ken.
Having a good look. Yeah, 3 it is. Chop 2 out. Well played.
Huge difference, really.
So, first blood to Mosman Park. A cracking end. Gee, they played first end of a grand final. You couldn't play that in much better than the Mosman Park girls did.
If anything, psychologically, dropping a 3 to dropping a 5, it's just there's a big difference in just mindset in that. 3 feels like, okay, well, we dropped 3. 5's extreme, isn't it?
Yep. Particularly early on. Yeah, you want to start a grand final. You want to be solid. You want the girls up and about. But Caitlin's bowl, perhaps did that. 5 down to a 3, and another 6 inches he probably had shot. So
there you go. So 3-0 on our board that we're covering here after one end, and there's your aggregate score, 4-1 to Mosman Park after the first end has been completed.
Wendy Stow backing up her first end, Clive. That's a cracker. Good shot. First end going this way.
These first few ends, it's just about finding your range. Need to settle in. Settle those nerves, those pre-game nerves that might be around. After 2 or 3 ends, they dissipate, and you're just back playing a normal game of bowls. Experience count for anything here, Ken? Would we see the experience in favour of Mosman Park?
Well, I think the grand final experience, certainly some of these girls would have played a dozen grand finals, almost a dozen in a row. So I think from that side, yes, experience there. But if you look across the Aussie Park side, they've got a number of ex-state players. There's plenty of experience in big games for the Aussie Park team. But grand finals, different kettle of fish. Just pinching the line there.
Yeah.
Sandy. Wendy Stour again. Two excellent bowls to
put the pressure on early.
Yeah, absolutely. Puts the pressure on the opposite lead, and then suddenly the 2 thinks that they need to draw a shot and start pinching line or a little heavy in weight because they don't want to be short. All sorts of little things start running through the mind.
Jeannie Gallotti now. Fun playing second when your lead's all over the jack.
Yep, and she's played it accordingly, Clive.
Look at the confidence here. Brilliantly played.
Scales of justice there on Jeannie's bowl.
I didn't know where you were going with that then for a sec.
I was just on her bowl, the logo on her bowl.
Right, okay.
Scales of justice. I wonder whether she's a Libran, for example.
Okay,
which, of course, is
yes.
the scales.
Yep.
Is the sign, as I am, Clive.
There's your close-up again.
Yep, there they are. Thanks, Mitch. Whether she's a Libran or... She'd love to just to tickle that jack a touch around the corner.
He's got a bit caught out deep on this one. It's okay, though. The work's been done so far. Now, can Terry Barrett's come up with a big shot here for Osburn Park and get them cooking? Looks a little on the tight side.
It does indeed. Yep. That'll really will disappear. That breeze pushing that across the green. So the breeze, as you can see, coming from left to right.
For those that have just joined us and not familiar with Cambridge, 3 Sandfield synthetic greens. They all run very nicely. And in the suburb of Floreat in Western Australia, just about 15 minutes northwest of the city. If that.
The leafy suburb of Floreat. You don't get a house around here for...
it's a nice part of the world, that's for sure.
Chopsticks, and of course we're only 10 minutes away from the coast as well, Clive.
There you go. There's the Floreat Shopping Centre directly across the road. Floreat Forum. Now, can Cheryl have some impact here?
I'll be touching the narrow side again, Clive.
It is.
Hasn't quite picked that line yet, Cheryl Tyrrell. 3 of her 4 bowls. Cutting the head. Left hander now of Claire Hughes. Backhand, of course, for her.
Got to be fair to Cheryl. She hasn't played a 4th one yet, Ken.
I know what's going to happen. Claire, what's the back bowl? Always handy when you've got a couple around the jack.
Here we go. Here comes this 4th bowl from Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl, come on. Narrow. I need it to be narrow. I've got a feeling she's thrown it out a bit wider.
She definitely found a better line. This is close. Has she got the speed with that line? That's the question. Not quite. Certainly that line was okay. Didn't hurt being a little tight because getting to the jack would have been a good result.
Yeah, another 1.5 metres of weight, and that probably would have done the job for them. Yeah, Lisa Featherby, this is a good head to play to. She can tickle it around the corner, make a really tough 3 for Caitlin to get at. The benefit of terrific lead bowls, Clive, particularly in early ends of a grand final.
Yeah, for sure.
Can Lisa just negotiate that red bowl at about 4 o'clock? We'll be ploughing into that.
I think this is a case of both skippers just looking to get to that jack a little bit, tuck it around the corner.
She's played this well. She gets under this red bowl.
Very good.
That's a cracker. Gets that back behind the jack. It does. Wow, that's a strong 3.
4 at the moment. Once again, Caitlin finds herself under all sorts of pressure. Just get a look at where this bowl's going. There it is.
Coming home now, Clive.
Oh, this is super close.
Get under. It can. This is a
great shot.
What a shot. What a great shot.
Might still be 1 down, but it's still a great shot. I think it'll still be 1 to Mosman Park, sorry. The light blue bowl there.
There's 6 shots she saved in 3 bowls, Clive. Good work by the youngster. Caitlin thinks, well, I might as well come down and have a good look at how good my bowl really was. Lisa, it's just a dead draw. Could she pop it out somehow, Clive?
Well, the problem is that if she makes contact with Caitlin's bowl, it's the Mosman Park bowl that's popping out. So I think it'll be more just a draw. She'll know Caitlin's got that shot to play as well, though.
Tickle it around the corner and get
that would be
3
ideal.
back.
Yeah.
Not a lot of margin for error, of course, but that's the plan, I would think.
And wasn't far away with a previous attempt. This one might be just a little on the careful side, I think.
Yeah, fair point.
I'm not sure she was that keen to be arriving on that, and in fact, she's probably made that harder for Caitlin to get at now.
That one falling against the bias helps a little too.
There is still a line rounded on the draw to the jack, and I think that's what Caitlin will be playing. Well, a big collect of 4 shots on the rink 3 to Mosman Park, so we'll update your aggregate in just a moment to see the outcome of this bowl.
Well, she's certainly arriving, Clive. Plenty of legs on this one.
Needs to start getting down now. It's not going to. Just pushed it through the line a little bit. Had reason to do that, so not a problem there. And a great effort there from Caitlin. Cuts it back to 1, and it's a 4-0 lead.
Cracking first bowl.
To Mosman Park after 2 ends of this Premier League Grand Final here at Cambridge Bowling Club in the Women's Tuesday competition. And we say the Women's Tuesday competition, of course there are open gender elements to the Tuesday competition as well, but all of the first division is still women only. We do have second and third division finals happening across the rinks, and there are some men playing in those sides.
And we'll bring those aggregates as the day unfolds, Clive.
We certainly will.
A magic little button there that'll bring up all of the other aggregates.
And 8-1 is the current aggregate score. No, it's got to be more than that. I think it's 11-1 at the moment across the boards. That's been downgraded from a 3 to a 2, so it's 10-1. There you go. Great shot from Wendy. Well, if you ever wanted to start in fine style, wow. Toucher. Don't get much better leading than we've seen in the first 5 bowls from Wendy Stowart.
Yep. Clive, you got the button there to bring up the other rink aggregates.
Yeah, we don't have any updates through yet, but we can show you who's playing. Yep.
So there they are. That's how they'll be presented as we receive some scores during the course of the morning. Well done, Mitch.
We will feed through those updates as they come to hand. All the matches just getting underway at the moment.
There is a big aggregate board on each of the games that's being played. We'll just hopefully have one of the spectators update that from time to time. And there the scores we'll be able to bring you.
Well, we sang Wendy's praises, and she's missed with one, Ken.
You can't take her eyes off her, can we? She's disappointed that we weren't watching her.
Well, this one needs to go round that now. It'll just to get back into a useful spot. So that'll get back for Aussie Park and get into a useful home for Sandy. Of course, the professionals, the sponsors of the pennant competitions, Ken, they do a fantastic job for us. Been with us a few years now.
Yep. They've renewed their contract at the start of this year for a couple more years, which is great. So, and obviously look forward to the Gents Grand Finals coming up on Saturday and Sunday, really. So, Grand Final day on Sunday, always a terrific affair. This one going to be on those lovely grass greens up at Osburn Park. They've been terrific sponsors.
Yep, all the information for the Saturday finals and the Thursday finals is all out there on the Bowls WA website. So head to bowlswa.com.au and you can check out all of the finals fixtures throughout all of the competitions, and some really interesting ones this year because there are some battles for avoiding relegation and things like that with the change to 8 teams next year. So it's not just about who's perhaps at the top of the table. It's It's who's hovering around those 7 and 8 positions that have also got some games to take care of, Ken. Great shot here from Jeannie Gallotti. Brilliantly played. Well, I'd be slightly disappointed with the way that's sat because it does sit with a little bit of a target, but still, great shot.
Yeah, front end at the moment, Aussie Park, they're well on top. So putting all sorts of pressure on the Tyrrells.
Yeah, Ken, it's funny with the... hang on, we'll just have a look at this because this is not far away from Terry.
Get the split.
Oh, well played. Talked about that target. Not sure that she's got the shot. It's close.
I think Lisa's got the finger up as shot. Still, dead draw though from Claire's been called. Yeah, no, some terrific games over the weekend coming up. And usually you worry about the Premier League Grand Finals and all the big name type events, but gee, with some of those challenge finals to North Beach, I think against Sorrento in one of them up at North Beach, that'll be an absolute cracking game. And then what's the other one? The Cardinia Safety Bay winner will go on to play Double View in the afternoon, again at North Beach. So on a green that I think it's a little cooler on Saturday. The green will be flying at North Beach, so that'll be terrific viewing.
Copper windy day, and that'll be a challenge in itself. And the game's called a challenge, but it'll be a challenge in itself. Not far away here from Cheryl Terrell. Great shot.
They're right on the jack.
Brilliant bowl. You see that late turn that you get up there on that hand, and beautifully played.
Yes, those games, and we always knew that those 7th and 8th games and the one white challenges and so on down the line were always going to be interesting. But a club like Doubleview wouldn't. I don't think anybody would have expected them to be in a challenge game or trying to save relegation at the start of the year. I certainly had them in my top 4. So for them to be placed in that situation on a lightning green will be most interesting come Saturday afternoon. And they're playing Safety Bay and Cardinia, who quick synthetic greens, not going to concern them at all.
Yep, very interesting.
Yeah, can she back up here and it's been a little narrow in earlier bowls, but it's may well have found her range now. Certainly had a nice wide line here, Clive. Going to arrive in time? Not quite.
First updates come through from across the rinks. 15-8 lead to Leeming over Morley in the one white.
One from Lisa just sliding under. Weight's solid, but going well under the head. See if Caitlin drawing well so far in the game. Saved several shots already. You can draw another one and get the Aussie Park girls up and running. Nice wide line, Clive.
Well, there's room round. There is room to get round. There's no doubt about it. That'll get nearly all the way back. It's just the pace that's going to stop it. With a little bit more pace, that will turn a little bit more as well up in that direction. Interesting that Lisa's also out there.
Yep. Yeah, a little bit more weight then. Not sure that was going to get back after clearing the front black bowl of Cheryl Tyrrell.
All right, well, Caitlin's come up with the bowls so far to save. Can she come up with one to add? Line's okay. I don't know about the pace. No, not going to get there.
Yep, off the drifts. Still on the board, Clive.
Yep, 1 it'll be. And as you say, gets them ticking over, gets the confidence flowing a little bit. 4-1 after 3, and the current aggregate 11 shots to 3.
We think both sides may now have settled across the 3 rinks. As you said, little nerves early on perhaps, but conditions are relatively benign. A bit of a easterly still blowing, keeping us a little cool, which is a blessing. I'm not sure I'd be keen when that easterly stops blowing. I think the temperature might get up to those early 30s pretty quickly this morning. But and just a query here from Lisa and the Mosman Park girls as to the length of the jack throw, and Lisa gives it the thumbs up, so it's pretty well minimum length though, Clive.
Looks good to me. I think, it wouldn't be in by miles, but
yeah, just trying to look at that marker on the far side, and the mat is a couple of metres up, I would have thought.
Yeah, it looks like the peg on this side isn't in the right position. So let's have a look at that.
The mat looks like it's up a couple of metres.
I'll get that checked actually.
Yeah, is that the...
Yeah. Normally we have a peg there's a peg up that end.
Yeah, we can see the mark just in front of us here, but the peg's 4 or 5 metres away from where it probably should be. Let me grab that. Do a bit of groundsmanship, Clive.
Leaving everything with us though, Ken, rather than taking it. I think we're just gone. Oh, we might be back now. Ah, right. Okay. All right, we're all good now. We're all sorted. You all right there, Ken?
Yes, I'm right. I got lassoed by some about 2,000 miles of cords that we've got here. But I have put the proper marker back in place at the appropriate.
Very good.
Line.
That's the main thing. All right, well, Mosman Park holding sway again here, thanks to Wendy Stour once more. And this one drop in, not quite. My apologies, that's Jeannie. That's Jeannie's bowl that is the shot bowl rather than Wendy. Now Cheryl had an impact on the last end.
I'll work back again. This almost minimum length end, probably 23 metres, Clive, perhaps.
Yeah, you would think so. It's comfortably long enough, so you would think 23. Yeah.
Matt's up probably 1.5 metres from the tee, and probably 2 or 3 metres back from the appropriate peg, which is now in the correct place now that I've put it there. Claire Hughes on her backhand. This will be the swinging hand with this breeze, easterly breeze blowing.
Just needs to land somewhere, doesn't it?
And their own bowl.
Oh.
One in, one out. Own team's bowl, I should say.
Cheryl just with a correction to make. Doesn't want to overdo it. Just needs to find a foot of weight, but more than anything, just a slightly better line. That looked quick out of the hand.
It took the words out of my mouth, Clive. It did look quick out of the hand. And it is accordingly. Yeah, that had some revolutions on it straight away. Claire also probably a couple of metres through the last bowl. A little bit fortunate and sat at their own back bowl. Absolute dead draw. Did that go on the opposite, Clive?
I thought it looked light out of the hand.
Yes.
And that's the challenge with the shorter length ends. It was on a great line. It's just going to come up just short of it. So
didn't quite come out of the hand the best, I don't think.
If you looked at Claire's body language when she let it go, it seemed to indicate that, didn't it?
Yeah, wobble or two out of the hand, probably took a metre off it. That's what she needed.
All right, Caitlin. Looking to find a way up here on this forehand side. It's not a bad effort. Needs it to get down now. Close. And has done. Great shot. Worked off the outside, gave that every chance. And that'll be shot for Osburn Park at the moment. Just feels like Osburn Park needs to hang on early here. Mosman Park have come out of the gates quickly. Right across the boards they have. Now is Lisa in the area to return favour here. Just on the outside. Had the weight to land, but just on the outside of it, and gives Caitlin the opportunity to get another one in here. Beautiful smooth delivery. Doesn't look too far away. Wow, that's beautifully played. Just needs to land. That'll do. Well played from Caitlin Terrell. Lands for a couple. Just what Osburn Park needed. Trail 14.5 on the overall board, as you can see on your screen. Now Lisa will try and strike back again for Mosman Park and extend that lead. Going to need that to get down. It's trying. Just found the gap. Wow, fantastic effort. It'll be 2 shots to Osburn Park, courtesy of 2 great shots from Caitlin Tyrrell. Closes the gap to just 1 on our show rink here. And adds another couple very handy ones to the board for Osburn Park overall. Of course, only one board really counts. It's the overall aggregate board that counts for finals. If we finish level, doesn't matter about rinks, it's all about the aggregate. So we finish level, all 3 rinks go out there, play another end. So there's only one board that matters across all these matches today. We are seeking some updates from the other greens, so we will bring those to you shortly as the jackets come up too short there. Now Mosman Park get to set the length. Still be Osburn Park that plays first. So the rink scores 4-3 here on our show rink, 5-1 next door. Helen Stevens leads Chris Ace Watson, and 5-3 Denise Kelly leads Pam Chalmers at the moment. So, Sandy Tope gets us underway here on the 5th end. Just needs us to hang on late now. It'll want to turn late. There it goes. Weight was good. And Wendy with a nice reply. Oh, Wendy right in the zone again. Just going to pass. It's 2 good bowls again. Right in the zone, Ken. It's all you're asking for from your lead, isn't it? You don't have to be all over the jack. You just have to be right in the zone.
Yep, front 2, Mosman Park playing really well at the moment. Certainly taking the points at this early stage. And obviously that just makes it a little bit easier for the 3, a little bit easier for the skip. So usually changing over, holding shot. But they've started very well. This one working its way up, Clive. It's trying hard, but we'll full up a metre shy. So,
Jeannie, these two have been, the front 2 for Mosman Park have been very, very good so far, Wendy and Jeannie.
Yep.
I think on synthetic greens, Ken, that's even more important. I think sometimes, because it can be hard for the skippers just to play a precise draw shot to get out of trouble. Whereas in a grass green, you tend to play with that, just that little bit more touch. A synthetic green doesn't seem quite so simple just to draw within, a couple of inches of the jack, especially with a bit of breeze around.
Well, I think the breeze is the issue, because it is a little gusty. I wouldn't say it's a strong breeze at all, but it comes and goes at the moment. So just depending on, this rink would be the most exposed away from the shopping centre and the quite large hill that's on the eastern side of the green. So the wind will be affecting the bowls to a degree. There's no doubt, as you said earlier on, you've got to throw them out there. You've got to take your grass on both hands. Cracking shot there by Cheryl Tyrrell. Backhand working well and truly back onto the jack. A front toucher to Cheryl. Lisa looking for that forehand. Oh no, kicking caught, but that's not a forehand. It's Claire Hughes' backhand, left-hander. Coming from a good area. Just wonder if she's a touch wide.
There you go, Ken. You can admire some of your own work there by the look of it.
Yeah, interesting. See some blowouts early in the other games. Morley, we've got a reasonably good side off here on rinks 4, 5 and 6 here at Cambridge. But, yeah, quick whiz around the grounds a moment ago. Manning really kicked clear already against Warnborough. Mount Lawley and Wanneroo, the other close game. South Perth got the afterburners on against Rossmoyne, and similarly with Sorrento and Como. So they've played the same amount of ends, if you like, as this game. So good shot there by Cheryl Tyrrell, making it a double. They probably all played about 6 or 7 ends only. So some numbers have broken clear out in some of those lower grade games.
We'll keep you up to date as best we can with all of those. And Cheryl Tyrrell nailed it with a couple.
Skipper's called a little bit more weight. Yeah, a bit more of a running shot. First one we've seen from either side.
Needs it to drop now, which it won't on that side. It'll just hold off with a little bit of weight. And it's going to remove one of the Mosman Park closest bowls. So a little bit of a change has come over this one, Ken. I mean, Caitlin's come up with a couple of big saves on the first 2 ends, and then she was brilliant with her 2 bowls on the end just completed end 4 to grab a couple. So there's a little bit of a change come over this one.
We're giving them 3, Clive. Is that one at sort of 7 o'clock?
It looks like it's certainly a possibility. I don't know that I'd give it. I think I'm probably leaning just towards 2, but it's close.
The Aussie Park girls, we can see there on the screen, having a bit of a conflab in the middle of the green. And in fact, Caitlin continuing on down to the green to have a really good look at this next shot. I guess she got some options. She can play that backhand, as most have done. Try and move that jack. Well, I think I like it tucked behind the bowls at the moment, but she can draw potentially for 4. Can sit that bowl. I'm not sure. Well, there is a gap around those light green bowls in the forehand to get back to her own bowl, own team's bowl at 7 o'clock. So let's see what she lines up. I've got a feeling that she'll play the backhand. She will. So she's just trying to get under that aquamarine bowl there. Draw another. She's certainly nice and high for the shot. Just needs to work under. Can she get around that and under? Oh, that little nick just cost her. Beautiful weight for the job. Now, Lisa called Claire Hughes with weight earlier. That last bowl of Caitlin's hasn't really changed the head. As long as she's lining up there to draw a shot. She is. Making her draw shot.
Well, this is a tough draw shot. This is a very tough draw shot.
Oh, she ain't a mile away though, Clive.
You need it to get down.
And does.
I'll tell you what a shot that is. Oh, and it fell out. It fell out. It was an incredible bowl. Wow. There wasn't a chance I was trying to draw that if I'm playing that shot.
Well,
not on that hand.
Falls in, she's got shot. So
I might have been tempted on the forehand to try and draw it, but wow.
Fell against the bias. That Aussie Park have one still. Cheryl Tyrrell certainly showing young Caitlin they are holding shot still. But gee, rolls her own shot bowl over, will probably squeeze the jack directly to Lisa. So very, very careful here. Not sure she has the width, Clive, to do any particular damage. Nor the weight. Now, Lisa's turn. She can come down and have a good look at this. I think the way she celebrated unless she didn't see it fall out, Clive. It could well have been 3. She cut that down to just the single.
Now,
is she flopping off her own bowl?
Yeah, well, I mean, she's played a great shot there. There's no reason why she can't play that again. Just going to give an update to those scores because it looks like we had the Como and Sorrento one the wrong way around. So 14-6 to Como over Sorrento at the moment. A couple of little advancements there. South Perth up 20 shots to 2 and Manning up 19 shots to 3. Looks like we're about to get an update from Morley and Leeming, so we'll update that shortly as well. What can Lisa come up with here?
Yeah, I think she's pointing wide. Yeah, that looks wide.
Well, the thing is, it had to be coming from a wide line. She just overdid it a little bit. What a fantastic effort that was. But one more to Osburn Park, and we're tied away at 4 shots apiece on this rank. After 5 ends have been played, and what are we, 17? Whoops. 17 plays 8 on the overall aggregate at the moment. Okay. Bree still teasing across. As we have a look across the rinks here, there's plenty of action going on right the way across the club. If you're in the area, certainly drop down and have a look.
Plenty of colour, isn't there, Clive? Always, all the shirts are out. You know,
love it.
Good to see. Plenty of people behind the rinks where the players are. Yeah, and a smattering of people down the sides as well. Clive just updates that Morley Leeming score.
Yeah, but as I do that,
the ladies changed it about 4 times. Yeah. Trying to work out the 3 rink score. It's not that hard, I wouldn't have thought. But so the rinks look like they're 7 all.
Yeah, Leeming are well in front.
Leeming are in front of the furthest rink, 10-0. That's the game breaker at the moment. The 10-0 rink on rink 6, furthest away from us.
All right, that is correct. 28-12 Leeming over Morley at the moment.
I'm just trying to remember back yesterday, Clive. I think Morley failed in their attempt in their challenge game to try and make their way through to Premier League. I'm pretty sure I read that on the Bowls Link scores, but obviously buttering up again today, chasing that elusive flag.
Of course, it is all a little bit different this year, and you'll see that through the other competitions as well, that there are games played for promotion, and then there are also pennant finals, and it can be, in one white, for instance, on Saturday we've got North Beach playing Safety Bay for the flag, but they won't actually play each other on Saturday in the relegation challenge matches for Premier League. So it's just an interesting change up with the move to 8 teams next year.
Yeah, no, in that particular division, no automatic promotion this year. North Beach finished well clear on top. Terrific season they've had. But even though they finished top, as would normally be the case, they would have that automatic promotion. But as you quite rightly said, they still have to earn that now against, in their particular case, the winner of the... in fact, they play Sorrento.
Yep.
So it's double view that'll have to protect their place in Premier League against either Cardinia or Safety Bay. Yeah,
and people have asked a little bit about the venues for that and said, well, which side should have had the right to host that? And I think that the decision was made on the back of North Beach would normally be straight up. They're not getting that, so their advantage that they get is they get the home advantage in those playoff games.
Yep, I think that's fair. You're quite right. Normally they would already made their spot in Premier League and just be going on Saturday and Sunday chasing an additional flag, but not the case. So I think they quite rightly deserve some sort of benefit from having their terrific season they've had.
Terry nailed it with her first. Can she pair this up with another? I'll tell you what, the line looks good.
Just needs to stop, Clive. I think it might. Nice quick green. Is going to grab the jack. Not quite.
It's really well played.
Super spot. There's a little comeback here. Clive, it's started an end or two to go. Looked like Mosman Park were just all over Osburn Park on this rink. But as you said, 4 all. They're now holding a a good strong 3, maybe 4.
Might be a little bit of experience in that. First couple of ends of a grand final, a little bit nervous. And Mosman Park might have settled a little bit quicker. That ball has gone close for Jeannie. I still probably favour the Osburn Park bowler's shot, but it's very close. Okay, well, Caitlin doesn't. Caitlin says maybe one down. So, yeah, maybe a few nerves early.
Yep.
Whereas the Mosman Park team a little bit more familiar with the surroundings. Of course, they won the title here on these 3 rinks last year. Not sure the 3 rinks are in exactly the same position, though, so maybe not exactly.
Caitlin's had a sort of issue this way, just not quite taking that grass. Again, that breeze fluctuating, but that forehand that Cheryl just bowled is the wide hand. Breeze certainly easterly, coming from Floriat Forum Shopping Centre towards the Cambridge car park.
Okay, so given the call, Mosman Park have got shot because there's no need to change. There's no need to switch to this wide hand if they were down. But if they're up, they're not wanting to move Jack now. Claire, trying to get into this little pocket of Osburn Park bowls. She's done it superbly well. That's a great shot. So we've loved it to stop a bowl sooner, but it's still a great shot.
Yeah, Cheryl, see if she can take that grass that so often she's missed going this direction.
Well, she's got every reason to reach here. You've got a bowl to land. Movement of Jack's okay.
Looks quicker and wider.
Oh, I think this is close. I think this is very close. What a shot this is, Cheryl Terrell. Brilliantly played. Great shot. Gave that every chance. That was the sort of weight. That was the perfect weight to just give it every opportunity.
She shows the value there of Claire's previous bowl. Without that, they're 4 or 5 down.
Yep.
So the cracking saving bowl, if you like, or positional bowl from Claire Hughes. Asking her to change hands now and just reach up through the backhand, wanting another close bowl. Skipper Featherby. And that one can get popped out if there's any weight on the shot bowl.
Not sure about the speed here. Don't think it's quite there.
Lisa doesn't want that in her way either, which it may well be. Doesn't want to play with weight under it.
What about Caitlin? Is there any temptation to chase this a little bit? You get down to the shot bowl, out goes Mosman Park for 5.
Does. Danger, obviously, is getting the inside of the jack back to the other bowl to go down.
These are interesting shots, Ken, because if you were 1 down, you'd play that shot in heartbeat.
Yeah.
But because you're 1 up,
yep.
You think, can I afford to play it? Can I take the risk? Well, the answer is you can. The issue is the back bowls.
Yep.
But it's so interesting, the shots you'll play when you're 1 down, whereas shots you then will say, well, if I'm 1 up, I can't play it.
Well, interesting to see if Caitlin has no outcome with this bowl, what Featherby does. Because she is 1 down. Is she going to take that risk of getting Jack back for 2 or 3, or plucks her own bowl out and goes 4 or 5 down?
Caitlin's playing forehand here. She's playing for. Is she going around the back, perhaps? I'll tell you what, you go around the back with the first, then she can chase. I believe that's where this is headed. Wants it to run all the way now. Well, that's not actually going to help her too much.
No, it's not. There's no man's land a little now. Featherby, does she play it? Has to go under those front bowls with some spunk on it. It's got some pace, Clive. I'm not sure she's quite in the right area.
Out a bit deep, that's the issue.
Well, she's got another one there.
The weight actually wasn't bad. Yeah.
Another back bowl. Well, it's not really back jack high, isn't it? So that jack was chip over there.
Oh, this is risk and reward. This for both.
So Caitlin swinging around the backhand now. Let's see what she's trying to play here. She's still trying to cover those back bowls of Mosman Park's.
Turn her own bowls up.
Well, she might end up getting in the way here.
Well, this is interesting now, isn't it? Does Lisa try and move this jack with the risk that her own bowl can go out?
And Claire said give it a chance, so she's not going to take the one down.
Oh.
This could be 4 or 5 either way here. She's playing a runner. Gets under that front bowl. Claire gets a scone out of the way. We'll be able to watch. Oi! Oh dear.
Oh wow.
Not sure there's too many well dones deserved there from the Mosman Park girls, but you're going to make...
It's potentially 4 here.
Well, one out the back here as well.
Might even be 5.
5.
And that one as well, so it's 5.
Not sure. That's one of those things in bowls, Clive, isn't it? A little bit of luck can go your way. A little bit of unluckiness go the Aussie Park way. But you don't cheer those too loudly.
Well, that sets up a massive lead now on the aggregate. As we update that one, 26 plays 8. So, Mosman Park have taken the bull by the horns.
Yep. Yes, Aussie didn't need that result. Gee, halfway through the end, we thought the result could have gone Osburn Park.
5 the other way.
Osburn Park's way, wasn't it? Twice, I think Caitlin tried to cover and just fell jack high. Costly in the scheme of things. Now, can Wendy Stour get back on?
It's also an
track?
example, Ken, of...
She's close again here, Clive. She's having a cracking game.
We said if you're one down, you can play the shot. If you're one up, you tend not to play the shot. And that's exactly what we saw there. The side that attacked the head actually ended up with the result, even though it was a fortunate one.
All right, well, across all 3 rinks at the moment, the Aussie Park girls are struggling. They need some sort of spark. There's an awful long way to go, not even a third of the way through the game yet, but they do need a spark. Look across the board, 3-10, 2-7, 4-9. A lot of good cheer there for the Aussie Park girls. Still, been around long enough, finished on top of the table. These games rarely get blowout. There's always a sting in the tail in the girls' Premier League Grand Finals.
Have a look at this from Wendy. She's done it again.
Wendy Stour, she is
sensational.
Playing a cracking game. MVP thus far, one would suggest, Clive.
Without a doubt. Yep. Of course, that 5 broke a run of 3 ends in a row to Osburn Park in this match, so they were working their way well back into it. Copped an unfortunate one. This is not far away from Sandy. That's very handy.
Yeah, solid reply. You see Jenny Gallotti, he can really play with confidence. Lead is almost front toucher. She's got a nice catcher on the backhand. Can really play confidently here. She has the height. Lisa, skipper, likes it a lot. Can she get back to the jack? It's moving out there. Yeah, well played.
You get the weight right in that direction, you will get that nice late turn on both hands. It can be a little bit... It can do your head in a little bit with because you tend to want to read the wind. And the wind doesn't make an awful lot of difference. It will turn if you've got the weight right. It's when you push through the line that it'll tend to just hold on.
Marek's working hard to get it back, but it's just stayed out. Jack high. 2 shots thus far. They'll be asked to switch hands.
Yeah, with the 2 bowls coming in there, that makes sense. Get to the other side. even anything just past, a little nudge of the jack doesn't hurt to tidy it up. Tell you what,
Skipper's liking it. Skipper's very happy with this one. She just...
It'll run away now.
Yeah, I was going to say, can she stop that run by running into that front? Oh, and falls back in. Thanks very much. We've seen a lot of fall against the bias here today. It's at the absolute death.
What it actually has done is create a little bit of a landing zone for Terry Barrett's to play into now. As it landed right next to it.
She played this with confidence. Needs to work hard.
Oh, look at this. Landing zone. Well, well played. Still 2 to Mosman Park. Could have got a better result out of that. Just needed to turn a slightly more.
Looks like the marker on that light green bowl looks like the round window in play school. Is it in the round window?
Yes, Ken.
Yes. No, cracking bowl. You called it well, Clive. There was somewhere to sit, given she had the weight. Solid bowl here as well.
Claire.
Oh, that's a good shot for 3. Well played. Gee, it's a good game at the moment. Some draw shots. Terrific work from the ladies.
See, I'd like to see forehand with a little bit of weight through here. We're not going to see that. Cheryl's been called to try and get in there herself. That is tough. To play backhand here and get into that head is a challenge.
A mile away, Clive. Let's chip her own in here. Oh, chips it in, but I don't think for anything result. We'll have to swing around here now. Yep, Featherby calls. Just a little catcher. 3 feet, a metre behind would be perfect.
Feels like we've gone back to the first couple of ends where Mosman Park were grouped around the jack. $26-9, the current lead to Mosman Park across the boards. This feels like Osburn Park needs to make their move now. This is tough. Backhand looking to turn their own bowl. I'd like to see one sent through it, but
yeah, burn one here. I would have thought. Really, really tough shot to get the line and length. Don't mind the line.
No, not going to get down with any weight on it.
Not with that weight. Yeah, and that's the weight she needed for the shot that was called. But yeah, always wide. It gives the Aussie Park girls comfortably the back bowl. I'm not sure if Caitlin's got this shot in her book or not. Just straight up the middle.
Well, I expect she does, and she's got all of the back.
What's the target?
Oh, actually, one of those is not. Sorry,
a couple of feet target.
Yep, there is one bowl that doesn't belong to.
Hit anything, I think, would be the key.
But there is one further back that we can't see on that view. That. We can see it shortly. There it is. That was that last bowl of Cheryl Tyrrell. And that's actually on a really nice angle.
The call from Claire Hughes the third is showing her where Jack High is. Draw shot.
See, I would have thought Jack High would be the last place Lisa wanted to land a bowl there. I think that's much more useful where she's gone to.
Yep. Now, what's Caitlin's plan?
Sticking with the backhand shot. And she's got 2 bowls coming up, so it certainly is possible.
Is she trying to chip that one at, was it 3 o'clock?
Well, both front bowls are Aussie Park bowls. And need this to do some work. It's a super effort.
Oi, gee whiz.
It's a really good shot, but that's the problem with that hand, is that there's just no way in other than through the Osburn Park bowls.
Yeah. Can't, that front bowl that sort of 1 o'clock. It's just stopping that, working through that gap. Lisa? They should be pretty comfortable with the lead they've got. They're happy just to take the ones at the moment. I'm feeling this will duck away.
Yeah, it'll run far enough that it won't be in Caitlin's way.
3 down is the call still. Gee whiz, he's still calling for that same.
Well, needs to have a little bit more weight on it so that she actually is turning bowls. The front bowl will come through and potentially could sit for shot. Just a little bit more weight to get some action. And she's dropped it under the line in doing that.
Yeah, it's a couple of tough shots there. 3 it is.
Yeah, I'd have liked to see a shot earlier just to try and open that up a little bit and give herself more of a chance. You know, it's one of those ones where the skipper needs a shot to play when they get down there with their 2 bowls. So that's where calling your third to develop the head a little bit so that you've got a shot to play when you get down there.
Yep.
That's that can sometimes be the key. (29-13) the overall aggregate score here at the moment. We do have an update on the Morley and Leeming match. Leeming continuing to power away in that one. 38-13. Leeming leads Morley in the First Division White Flag playoff. We'll get some updates on those other scores shortly. But a 5 and a 3 on the last 2 ends have burst this one open. The 3, superb. The 5, albeit a little bit lucky. Well, 1 each in the area and 1 each behind to start this end as we welcome in Bowls WA President Doug Kelly. How are you, Doug?
Great, thank you. Thank you for the introduction, and all credit to the Cambridge Bowling Club. I've been wandering around and I do take my hat off to Ross & Co. I'm sure I'll miss if I started thanking all the people who've done the hard work, but they'll know who they are, and they've polished everything up, and they've got another bash at this on Saturday, Clive.
Saturday, first day of Premier League finals will be here on Saturday.
And not the first time, obviously they've hosted plenty of times and they've got it down pat, maybe that, so they just follow the breadcrumbs and do the same thing, and they do all credit to them. I know it's a privilege to be here and and experience their hospitality and their professionalism, the way they've presented it all, Clive.
Tell you, this green's running about as well as I've ever seen it run as well. It got rolled a couple of last week, a couple of times, and it's just come up a treat, just running that little bit quicker than perhaps it usually does, and it's a treat to play on at the moment.
And what is
that?
What is the pace? What are you picking this?
It'd have to be around about 16.
Yeah, perfect.
Drop down to the jack. Got most of it. That'll do. Very handy. Great shot from Jeannie Gallotti.
I've watched a lot of Osburn Mosman Park bowls this year. Has watched a lot of bowls, full stop. And Jenny's had a really, really solid year. She's been, and we all know that every position is important within a game of bowls, but if you can have a second that's getting two and just knocking things around a bit, yeah, it really does go towards good results.
You a bit torn today, are you, Doug?
No, someone asked me that, and I just, if I'm barracking, it'll be go the park. For those who don't know, my wife plays for Mosman Park and I play for Osburn Park, so the common thread, of course, is park, which it all would have worked out, so mine's go the park, so can't lose, foot in both camps, so and know a lot of them really well, so there's lots of good people, well, they're all, a whole lot of them.
Fair effort people. Here from Claire Hughes. Nicely played. Another one in the zone for Mosman Park.
And an academy player, Clive?
Yeah,
exactly.
And one that's really just a really keen player, isn't she, Claire?
Correct.
Just one that loves the sport.
Correct, and the husband's a great contributor to our game at a state level with his umpiring. And in Namibia at the moment, with works with a uranium company, Deep Yellow, for those.
There you go.
There you go. So,
always bringing the info, Doug.
Do my homework, and bowls is about people. So, and you're an expert, best caller of bowls in Australia, so they tell me. Fourth best in the office, which I know, but that's because they don't hear us; they only hear you. But you are the expert when it comes to calling the game of bowls. So.
This one clearing, not quite. Would have been coming to a very nice home if it actually got a clear run there. Cheryl just needs to work up here on the forehand. Just needs to give this a chance. Doesn't want to find herself wide because there's a couple of bowls to land there. This is on a nice sort of fighting line, if you like.
So the win, Clive. So tell me the breeze.
Well, just having a look at this bowl, Cheryl's just gone deep with this. You're going to get a little nudge on that, but no help. Yeah, last couple of weeks it's been mainly easterlies, Doug, which has been a bit different. Not what we're used to here in WA. We're used to more of the westerlies. I suppose mornings a little bit different. Perhaps a bit more used to having an easterly in the morning, and it switches around. So Green plays completely differently with an easterly breeze than it does to a southwester.
And as they cross over, just a bit of a description of the layout of this. It's sort of unique-ish, the way it's set down within the profile.
Yes, I mean, we're across the road from the Floreat Forum shopping centre, of course, down in a little bit of a dip, if you like. You'd think that gets you out of the wind, but it doesn't necessarily. And, of course, you've got the beautiful clubhouse and surrounded by three beautiful synthetic greens that all play really nicely. You can't end up on a bad green here at Cambridge, that is for sure. They're all high quality greens. So,
as we see this one comes through from Lisa Featherby, stays a little bit on the high side, but weight looks like it's perfect. But so whether she can adjust a line, that's all she needs. The weight is got the job done. As you get some more Sky scores coming through, Clive.
We'll get there. Yeah, just let me update those first, Doug.
And you'll see Caitlin Tyrrell will be playing in the Metro versus Country game on Sunday, which will follow the Men's Premier League final, which we will be streaming as well. Clive, of course, may not be streaming. He will be hoping that he is playing in it.
I won't be playing in the Metro versus Country, but
in that lead-up Premier League game.
Hopefully we'll be celebrating is the plan.
So they'll have Coke Zeros on ice for Clive. As Lisa reloads, resets, goes through her pre-game routine, and there's a bit of interest. Looks a bit on the high side. And right in the line is Claire, so I can't quite see, but it's just going to pull up a bit shy. Yeah,
Claire's wandering across there a little bit, but that's all right. It's going to happen with so many on the rink, so that's all right. There's those updated scores for you that Doug was just alluding to. Ken doing a great job there getting us some updates. So Leeming leading 38-13, we knew that one. Manning 21-7 over Warnbro. Wanneroo, that's a close one, in the One Blue North flag playoff. Mount Lawley Mount Lawley and Wanneroo. They're 13-12 to Wanneroo as Caitlin just misses on the high side. 26-14 South Perth over Rossmoyne and 21-8 Como over Sorrento.
So 2 more goes on the tally of Mosman Park, which gets them through. I have been watching the finals, as you would know and expect. Lisa was 16 zip down yesterday.
Yes.
And then came back, and then next thing, before you know it, it's 17-9, albeit behind, and then goes through and wins that rink. So, and it was Chris Ace Watson, who on day one got pumped by 19 shots, comes out and carries aggregate on day 2. So, funny game, bowls, Clive.
Certainly is. I mean, even in the game we've been watching here, 4-all 3 ends ago, and then Lisa gets a bit of a lucky one to get the 5. Followed by a 3 and a 2, though. 10 shots in 3 ends, and suddenly it's 14-4.
Clive, you're the master of statisticians. I've listened to you many a time and enjoyed your knowledge and depth behind numbers. So tell me, multiples in a row. Dropping a multiple is not enjoyable. Multiples in a row, that's a sin or not something you try to do?
Oh, of course. I mean, when you drop a number, the best way to dilute that number is to grab a couple back the other way, of course. It's more about dropping ends in a row. And in the 21-end game, if you lose 4 ends in a row, you'll lose 80% of the time. So that's backed up. That's stats from state level and Premier League level. That I guess if you lose 4 ends in a row, you've lost at least 4 shots, but realistically, you've probably lost 8 or 9 without any reply. So that's where that tends to come from. You're essentially giving away a lead, even if it's in the middle of the game.
Right. So I rest my case at the stats and Clive's knowledge within stats and what it means. So that's one that I'll write down and keep. That one as I did my coaching module the other day online, the Bowls Australia module, albeit only done the online stuff and. That's something I'll be writing down, Clive. It's an important stat.
Wendy has been outstanding in this match so far, Doug.
Yeah.
Wendy Stowart.
Yep.
And this one's not looking too far away either. Just needs to have the journey. It's well played. She's been so solid. So solid.
Yeah, in Stone Point, you get a good start. The front end can just start to build and takes the pressure off. You can get your back end not having to add rather than trying to change the setup. It's a much more enjoyable game for that team.
In reply, Sandy has just come up a little bit short. It's only a metre or so, but it's enough that those bowls are probably not going to take part in this end. It's going to need Terry Barrett's to come up with something for Osburn Park, but Jeannie will look to make this more difficult first. Little cover up of the jack, little nudge around the corner.
So, of the rinks, your home ground, rinks all play the same across this green, or they vary a bit?
I'm not giving away too much information on that, Doug, given the fact that we will be playing on this green on Saturday. But clearly, look, on synthetic greens, often a lot of the rinks play slightly differently. And then with the wind and the way the wind affects things, if you're playing on 4, you'll get a slightly different game to playing on 1. I'm not going to tell you what the differences are.
I have played, albeit Thursday, Premier League finals here, and my knowledge of Rink 1, which I've played on more than once, is trust the height, trust that grass, because it is there, and once you lose concentration on taking your shape, you are going to end up in horrible places.
Particularly with it having been rolled and running a little bit quicker at the moment, there's plenty of turn there. So a great shot here from Jeannie. Another one in the zone. Mosman Park holding at least 3 once again.
And there are other 2 bowls behind the head from those 2 on and 2, so they own the jack, own the back. Good setup to have early.
There's a bit of line for Terry. Just needs it to pull up now. I think it's going to go too far. Might sit the back one. Not quite.
The beauty of such a green that's got such magnificent finish on it, Clive.
Yeah, no, it's as I say, it's running as good as I reckon it's run in years.
Righto. Oh wow, interesting.
And this green's coming up to 10 years old now.
Righto, that's good.
You wouldn't pick it.
No, it looks magnificent. Maybe a bit of that shine on it tells us that it's quick, as synthetics can get. have to be running 17 seconds for that one to have reached, so just pulls up that metre in a bit, 4 foot short. So
I think the thing while we're talking about the greens, certainly if we can compare to the eastern states, there's still a lot of grass in the eastern states and a lot of carpet surfaces. We don't see so many carpet surfaces here in Western Australia now. It's mainly the sandfield synthetics, and the days of sandfield synthetics, scratching bowls and all that sort of stuff are absolutely gone. The surface generally gives you as much of a grass game as any surface that's not grass.
And percentage of synthetics, I know country, you have a stat for that?
Yeah, well, country WA, you're up around 80, or it'd be above 85%. Not finding too much grass. Maybe Bustleton and a few of the other centres have still got a little bit of grass going on, and beautiful grass down there, might I add. But you won't find much grass around now, and overall we're probably around about 80% now synthetic.
Right, Metro increasing every year?
Well, as I'm saying, about 80% overall now, including everything.
Right. And Cheryl with what needs to reach, looks like it could go a bit tightish here.
It's more the pace, just need a little bit more to get it all the way there. Great effort. That line would have been okay with just that extra foot of weight.
Yes, it would have. And I see, and Cheryl's husband, Russell, was doing the board, so he's flat out. I know I did speak to him as I was doing my rounds this morning, having a chat, and he is flat out organising and running the Everest. Are you playing in that, Clive?
I haven't booked a spot yet, but I'm not sure.
Righto, it'd be good to see you there, because rubbing shoulders with the elite, and you
played last year.
You're certainly comfortable in that, as you've just come back from Cabramatta, as we see Lisa Featherby with a much easier task in front of her than what young Caitlin will be confronted with. So just drawing another one, or do you think she might be looking, she can just tuck it in around the corner a little bit?
Lisa, I think she'd love to just give it a little nudge, just get it to some safety. Caitlin's playing well enough that she can draw this shot. She's played some good draw shots early in the match, some to save, some to convert.
I do rate Caitlin through the roof with her ability. I've watched her play plenty of times, and
gets the bowl away beautifully.
Yeah, she does, and she's actually worked on that over the last 12 months.
Oh, this is a great line. This is very close. Little piece of the jack can only be good. Probably gone too far, I'm not sure, but it's a great shot regardless. I feel like it'll still be one to Mosman Park, but they are checking.
So we'll be able to find out how good Claire's and get her opinion.
No, confirmed.
So she should be rewarded for such a magnificent shot as she's played. So got everything right and got it fat enough to be able to trail with it. Fantastic.
She's played very well to be down 14-4.
Yeah, and that happens, isn't it? That you can have a cracking game and the scoreboard doesn't reflect it. So it is a team game. You need everyone to be on song.
Leeming continues to extend their charge in the one white competition, up 18-1 on one of the rinks there. So looks like Leeming pushing towards a flag there in one white.
And now over 55's Jackaroo, Lisa Featherby. How's that for a feather in your cap, Clive?
Yeah, fantastic. She's a star. There's no doubt about it. Not quite going to get down with that one. So now Caitlin. Well, there might be a temptation to go to the forehand here. If they believe Osburn Park's got the shot, I'd be drawing forehand here. I'm not sure she's going to. The problem with backhand, she goes anywhere near the jack.
Yeah, catches. Yeah, we know it's close because they did have to walk around it a little bit to decide who's got shot.
There's two Mosman Park bowls sitting just past the jack that would love a little bit of movement towards them. So
your mindset, if this was you on the mat, you'd be just flat out trying to make sure you got that, or you?
Well, I'm on a wide line,
yeah,
trying to get back and just get back, but I would have played forehand.
Yeah. So Lisa, of course, hails from Darren.
One to Osburn Park.
So
one confirmed. So 14-5, the current scoreline. That's after 9 ends. My apologies, that was 1 in behind. So after 9 ends.
And much needed after dropping, as we spoke earlier, dropping 4 ends on the trot, or 3 ends on the trot. So you're back in there. So that's another one. All adds up, all makes difference. So hailing from Darren, and then to go from playing country bowls through to representing the Jackaroos in Cyprus. Probably wouldn't want to be playing it at this time of the year with the current circumstances. But how's that for a feather in your cap? And talking of Darren, they are getting Buddy Franklin will be back playing for Darren in the first round of the Mortlock Footy League, which we played at Gingin, hosted by Gingin. So how's that for a coup?
You going to get a run at fullback?
I'd be really intrigued. So the argument at the start, the best thing to come out of Darren, when they get together all those champions, I always say it's the road to Meckering, which they don't always think that's very funny. But yeah, imagine having a couple of those champions in the midst. So there we go. As we start off, Sandy.
Yeah. Yeah, is that where Lance Franklin was originally from?
Yeah, Ejanding actually. And I've heard, hear all the stories because the legends always continue to grow. And when he used to hop on the bus driver was a guy called Peter Munyard. And he'd say to Buddy as he's getting on the bus bouncing the footy, he said, "What are you going to do when you grow up, Buddy?" He said, "I'm going to play football." And he said, "No, Buddy, what are you going to do in case footy doesn't work?" He said, "Footy will work." And
well, he was right.
He was right. So how good a story is that? So, and I remember watching him when he was playing for Wesley, watching him play in the Alco Cup and going, well, this kid's a superstar, just scramming it out of the ruck, taking a bounce and dropping it in the square. You get to spot him occasionally, don't you? I had the same with Michael Hussey in cricket. I played against Michael Hussey as a junior cricketer, and it was fairly obvious he was a lot better than most of us put together. But, it's good to see some West Aussies on the big stage. Yeah, no, it's great. And for him to go back to their country roots and do that. So Wendy Stour, as in Tower, as I get constantly reminded. So she's got a metre to have the second shot. I reckon she's holding shot there on the wing. Just needs this one to pull up. Just going to trickle by, but nothing wrong with that as a lead landing in there. Aussie Park just need a spark here, Doug. Yeah. They just need something. They need to pick up a 3 or a 4 or something like that and get moving. And they've got a good crowd here supporting them, and so a number somewhere across any of the 3 rinks would be good to get them up and about. So they just need something. Trailing by 11 on the far rink, whoever's on that one, and then just 1, 2, just there passing. Just shared honours at the back there. Yep, still holding, says Lisa. So something for Jeannie to sit on. Scarborough product. And the way she's been playing, she'll draw inside those 2 back ones without too much trouble, I would expect. I think I've got her. Yep, commentator's curse. Well, although I did get Caitlin to trail it on my call, so 1-0 Clive. It is a commentator's curse. Terry Barrett's with a slight correction to make. Just correct a couple of feet on her first attempt. Needs to clear the front now. I think she's going to get just a little edge. Well, it's still going to trickle up for shot. So, wow, change of hands. Change of hands, which is, that's interesting. I'm not sure whether you abide by that Bowls 101, that give them 2 cracks on the same hand wherever possible. Is that you as a skipper, I think, Clive? It depends on how a player's been going. I mean, Jeannie's been playing really well, so Lisa's backed her in to change sides. And this will do enough for shot, so that's really well played. And hard to argue when someone does that, isn't it? No, and we must say really well called. Just to cover. I think it comes down to the player. Look, I'm not changing a lead's hand very often, but second, you probably do have to be willing to change a little bit. Whether or not she had to there, that could be debated. That's the beauty of our sport. It's sometimes hard to separate what's right and wrong. Yep. Certainly won't be seeing Cheryl on her backhand. She's got to play through her own bowl so she can get through it or just underneath it or get to the jack. And looking at that, she's gone on the high side. That's the issue, Doug, with sometimes when you get 2 players reading ahead and you get a disagreement. Yeah. It's because there's no right or wrong. So you can't even
pull back and say, well, the right answer is this, because it's really just opinions, and it's the way you're playing on the day, and it's the way the wind's blowing, and those sorts of things that come into it. You can't just tick it and say, well, yes, that's the correct shot to play.
So do you, in that circumstance, as we get a little acknowledgement
Good shot,
from...
yeah,
well done to Claire Hughes. Do you ever stand there with both your palms pointed down to the ground saying your choice, or do you dictate and say that you are playing?
I minimise your choice. The only problem with your choice is it doesn't give clarity back down the other end, so sometimes a player wants clarity.
Yep, and that's knowing your team. So
because if I say either way, suddenly there's doubt in your mind, well, which way should I play?
Yeah.
Whereas if I just call a hand...
Oh, interesting.
Good shot here from Cheryl. How much runs it got? Not quite going to get past. Great effort.
Great effort, Cheryl.
And then the other side of that argument is if you're playing second, don't have a shot in mind when you get on the mat, because if the skipper then calls you something different, straight away you've got a negative mindset. You say, well, why aren't I playing the shot that I thought I was going to be playing? Well, because you shouldn't have been thinking of playing a shot.
Yep. You
should have been waiting for your call, So that's the counter to that one. Now, is this one going to get all the way down? Not quite. It's going to be another good bowl in the area.
Clean run.
Without the touch.
Yeah, she did. So Terry Brett, so I think she's the bar manager at Quinns Rock Bowling Club, that correct?
Certainly got history at Quinns, I don't know.
Yeah, I think she still
don't know the exact roles, Doug.
Yeah, and first grand final, but she's won a few singles, so she's been on the big stage, but this is a different stage. And Clive, you've called a lot of games, and I know you would have been on the other side of the camera. Does it add pressure to you?
Well, look, depends how many times you've been on. I think the first couple of ends, if you're new to it, that's probably a challenge.
Yep.
I think once you get into it, I think you tend to forget that the camera's there, and we see that when people stand in the way.
Yep.
They're standing in the way because they've forgotten the cameras are there. Then, in a sense, that's a good thing for them because they're just playing the game. And it's no good if you're watching it.
No, that's right. Or calling it. And the cameras are high enough that it does...
Mitch does a fantastic job for us.
Great setup.
High Tide Media. High Tide Media, if you are looking to get some live streaming done, then you can't go wrong with Mitch.
So a fair line, but just slides around the back. Not by a lot. It's from Caitlin. So Lisa will go into the backhand. That's where she's got her friendly balls are.
Mitch has given me that many buttons to press in front of me. I feel like I'm flying a plane.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't feel as safe as I was sitting in this chair then.
This is not far away from Lisa Featherby. Just going to trickle past.
Perfect line from Lisa. Just got 3 foot too far. As we see Ross Bolton, the new state selector for the men's side. So on board, highly respected, highly regarded, and working hard as he always does is Ross. Great contributor to bowls in WA.
Ross is looking after us with some score updates, which I'm just putting into the system, and we'll have those up for you shortly.
And the third best of the Bolton bowlers within the Cambridge Bowling Club. You were saying earlier, Clive. And Lisa with a chance to add here, albeit holding a lead. Every shot counts when you're playing an aggregate game. Big thank you to Ross.
All right, we'll bring those scores up. We'll just see the outcome of this end. I think it's just 1 to Mosman. But I think Claire, well, it's her bowls. So yeah, Claire wants to have a closer look.
Funny that. Cheryl gets referred to.
Yep.
She was quite adamant that it was just the one.
And it is just the one.
And it is just the one.
Yeah. 15-5, the scoreline on this rink. Whoops, wrong way around. There we go, 15-5. And what do we got? 23-37 on the aggregate versus 20 to Osburn Park.
After 21 ends, so third of the way through the journey.
It does tell us that Aussie Park have scored somewhere there. I think it might have been on the Helen Stevens' rank against Chris Yates Watson. Might have picked up a 3 or a 4 there.
Yeah.
So that's handy. Now let's have a look across all of the scores, because these are the latest updates right now. Leeming leading 43-16 over Morley in the one white flag playoff. In one blue south, it's Manning 28-8 over Warnborough. In the blue north, that's the one that's been close all the way, 19 to Wanneroo. They're going for 3 in a row in the one blue north premierships. Over Mount Lawley 16. South Perth lead 27-16 over Rossmoyne in second division. And Como has the lead 27-11 over Sorrento in the third grade.
And I did go over and have a look at the Rossmoyne South Perth game in that second division, and the quality of players that are strutting their stuff there is hard for me to believe that it's a second division side. It is a cracking lineup. An ex-Australian player, there's some academy players, there's some ex-state players, and current state players. So I see they are in front, and that does reflect the quality, albeit a good game.
Well, Wendy went close to trailing the jack with her first, but just missed it, as the breeze has just come up a little bit again, so might be playing havoc with the players' line and weight. You see both leads just with a little bit of a miss. Wendy with a slight correction to make.
That wind hasn't swung a little bit. They seem to have an awful lot of finish. Ray and Sandy Tope, of course, played at Inglewood. Yep, with her husband still plays there, so that's a good little club. I visit lots of clubs, and it's always a good one to visit. So Sandy, another get. Her line was okay. She just got there a bit quick.
Of course, Osburn Park will be on show on Sunday for the Premier League and First Division Grand Finals.
And neutral ground, Clive, is that why? How's that? Great correction from Sandy Tope. Very good. Campbell, Sandy. So, Lisa's indicating she's got about 18 inches to get shot. Puts a foot. See, this is the weight, and this is what you need. And has she delivered?
Now, apologies, wow. Doug, you asked me a question.
Right, and the Osburn Park, as you were saying,
yes,
on Sea Green, and a neutral venue, that's you enlighten everyone. I know the answer, of course. But.
Yeah, so the winner of each of the side that finishes on top in each of the first divisions gets home ground advantage for the first day of finals, but then, of course, we go to neutral venues for the second day of finals, with Osborne Park just missing the top four. What an incredible finish it was to the Premier League season. That opened up Osborne Park's greens to be available for all of us, which is fantastic because the greens are super. It's not fantastic for Osborne Park that they missed the finals, but it does give us some fantastic surfaces to play on. Honestly, the top five in Premier League have been doing battle all season, and it came down to basically one or two bowls that make all the difference in the end, and what a fantastic finish to the season it was, and then what a fantastic final series we've got coming up as well. And as Ken and I were discussing, Doug, great shot here, beautifully played.
Well done,
Jenny Gallotti does it again.
How's that for a good set?
So solid. It's not just the Premiership games that we're looking at. It's challenge games. It's all sorts that are going to be going on Saturday, primarily Saturday, and then obviously we switch to all those big finals on the Sunday. Close here, bit of
Great
jack.
Bowl.
Bit more would have been handy.
Great bowl by Terry Barrett.
Raised the jack as it went past.
Was that close? The shadow almost moved it. It was a cracking effort, and would have changed their setup in this head immensely, which has forced Lisa then into covering. So,
of course, Doug, after the Premier League finals and the First Division finals are finished, then we've got Metro versus Country from 3 p.m. At Osborne Park. So we'll have a full day of streaming for you.
Yeah, no, that'll be great, and hopefully I don't get to work with you because you're playing. That would be good. You guys have been right in the mix all year, as we know that it was a battle of 5, but you won 9 on the trot, I think, at one stage. Yeah, the last 12 games we lost 1. Oh, righto.
It's it's an amazing season, really, because I mean, the last 12 games, we lost 1 game since November 15th. and we weren't locked into finals until that very last game on Saturday. It's incredible.
And
great shot here from Cheryl. All over it. Brilliant.
Brilliant bowl.
Brilliant shot, Cheryl Tyrrell. Right when required.
Perfect weight, perfect line, falls back in. Lisa puts her head over and crosses the fingers as they all do and just confirms what I think we can see from here, that she's...
Now, Doug, I just need to update that those first divisions are, of course, first division green, not first division blue, so those have been corrected, and thank you for the feedback.
The feedback...
From one C. Harris.
Not P. Harris?
No, C. Harris.
Righto. Anyway, Pete will be up there feeding the pet crocodile, which supposedly he's got now that he's a Broome resident. He'll be... Claire just hangs that one a bit wide. That breeze still got a lot of east in it, obviously, and you get a little bit off that line and you will hold. So after a cracking bowl, as good a bowl that's been played today, so Cheryl gets to add, and she's got a face to a wall of bowls to sit on. One, of course, is hers. So
the challenge here, Doug's just get a little bit wider than her last one that chased up there, and that's going to be the issue here. This is going to go a long way across.
So, degree of nerves, but rightfully so. But ends up in a position that if Lisa attacks it could squeeze through. There is a gap between the bowls, but...
Just can't cheat the line in that direction on that hand. As soon as you're under the line, you've virtually no chance. You're calling for something to hold on that side. It doesn't happen.
No. Of course. No, that's right. That's knowing the green inside out. And we talk about trusting. Just trust that shape, because it's always going to be there. And the moment you think I'll change and get inside that, you're going to lose the ball.
A lot of the time it's one of those hands where you have to pick your line and then just go that little bit wider.
Yeah.
Lisa also on a very tight line here. This one won't hang on.
No, not with that weight. Won't get a result. So...
Of course, a lot of the players here in these sides play some of the winter pairs here at Cambridge as well. So the greens are not particularly foreign to them. We do play often in the winter. It's in the other direction, so not necessarily on the particular rink, but certainly the green would be familiar to a lot of the players. And you talk about Ross Bolton. He's the one that runs that Thursday pairs and does a fantastic job with it.
Yes, I'll never understate.
Almost a cult following that Thursday pairs here.
No, absolutely, yeah. I've played in it myself. That's why I would never understate the work he does. Anyway, so the same deal here for Caitlin. So what confronts her is shot, crossing over with holding one, and then a couple of bowls to sit on, but not without danger. She wouldn't want to overcook it and trail the jack. And so...
It's a great effort.
Great effort. She's done this particularly well. So the discussion between the skip and the third is how much more weight. Where did my last bowl end up in relation to the jack as far as weight goes? We know that she had a tight line. But holding a 15-5 advantage after 10 ends. She wasn't steady on the mat then. But she has got a fair bit of this right.
Oh, this is close. Oh, this is very close. How much of it? Enough. Great shot.
That's a cracking ball. The beauty of knowing, Clive, that you've got something to sit on, so you don't have to be centimetre perfect. In exactly the same scenario for Caitlin is just don't be short.
It's amazing how you can't say words without conjuring up people. Dennis Cometti, of course, passing recently. Superstar commentator he was, and centimetre perfect was his. Caitlin, right in the zone here. Oh, it's just going to find the gap. That's incredible. Well, incredible effort.
On a scale of 10,
Caitlin's had enough.
She's played it to the level of 9, but she's had luck to the level of 1. So
she waved goodbye and said, I have had enough of that. Okay.
Did everything right, and just the bowling gods sometimes just aren't as kind as they could be sometimes, and she glides through. And so Lisa's rewarded with and we talk about, so that's 2 wins in a row. So, and as we've seen, the final so far for the ladies is that just staying in that game, and that one shot may be of significance later on when we get up.
Doug, we're at the point now where Osburn Park need to look for a spark, and this is where if there's a shot to play where you can create a 3 or a 4 and get things going or something like that, you have to play it and you have to get it. When you're down 40 to 21, just going along the same route is probably not going to get it done. So you've got to look for those opportunities and say, right, I've got to back myself to play a shot. And you're right there.
Yeah, I'm right.
Knocked yourself out.
Yeah.
You've got to play that shot and you've got to get it and you've got to let everyone know you've got it.
Right out. So that's good. But so do Cambridge in your Premier League side? Do you have a manager as such?
No.
So that's just leadership from within, and that's just game awareness. Match awareness. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's looking and saying, well, if we continue along this path, it's probably not going to be the outcome we're looking for. So you just got to look for those opportunities and say, right, well, it might be a shot that's difficult, or it might be a shot where you're holding one, but you can make another 3 or 4. You've got to play it and you've got to get it.
Right. 23. Oh, no, we're not. We've got more than that. So there's plenty of time left in this game for that to happen.
Well, we're just over the halfway point. That's where we are.
Yep.
Just going past the halfway point now. Right, well, here's an opportunity right now. So Wendy's been all over it. She's not on this end. So Sandy now has to absolutely take advantage of that and nail this jack. From far away with her first. Line's good. Yeah, she's played that well. Well played.
Great set, Sandy. Yeah. Can't bowl, Sandy.
They've got to find a way of just diluting Wendy and Jeannie on this rink, because they've just been setting things up every time, and that's taking nothing away from Lisa and Claire. They've played their roles beautifully as well. But when your front two are on, it's just a great way to. It's fun way to play the game.
Yes. It's, if someone has to own the pressure, it's best that it's not you. And right on cue, but just slides through slightly, maybe just not quite shot, but she gave it the opportunity, which is all that her skip would ask her to do. So reached on a pretty good line and slides through. So President's Glory, we see presidents from clubs all here supporting their team, their club. So
yeah, it's good to see. It's a nice, healthy crowd around all the rinks. So, well,
and we talk about
Terry make her way through there. Sorry, Doug.
Yeah, exactly as you called it. You saw the opportunity where there was some. Wendy was not quite all over it, and so you seized the moment, and exactly what she's done.
Yeah, Jeannie not far away. Not entirely sure who's got shot there. This one needs to get down in a hurry, because it will be just running. I was going to say it'll be running by, but it's chewed up a lot on the turn. Look at that! Wow, came home beautifully.
So
that's definitely the shot. Got to be.
Lisa's puts her hands together. It tells me that didn't put any fingers in there to show me that they have got shot, but I reckon they may have. Clive, you saw it better than me. This angle's not perfect.
Terry's just going to crash into the front, so no result there.
They do have that set up where they only got to lay their balls up and over, or maybe even flat to get shot. Lisa now will watch this with interest, and she'll indicate who has got the one.
Well, we know there's a line around because
it will swoop.
It just got proven.
So Clive, Peter's message that he's watching from Sunny Broome?
No, haven't heard from Peter.
Righto.
I'm sure he's keeping an eye on things.
You would suggest so. So a busy week ahead of you, Clive, and then we'll just about be on the eve. Must be getting close to some state squads being announced. obviously be of significance and relevance to you?
Well, obviously we've announced the selection panels and the coaches and all of that over the last few weeks. So, I'm sure they're hard at work.
So Lisa points out that you are 3 metres short. Line was acceptable. Must reach. Give it a chance. So it's a game of correction, Clive.
Yeah, now it feels like that one can't get back. I mean, we did get one get all the way back. It's just a bit quick. That's why it's going to get back line wise. It was just a little bit quick, but certainly getting plenty of turn out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, and this green, as the day goes on for this green, get a bit more inside information here. And as I'm taking notes to hand on to all the clubs, so during the day it doesn't alter at all. So we've got to
never seen it change during the day, Doug. The issue here for Osburn Park is that bowl in front. The bowl up there in front is just making that shot just to come up and roll up their own bowls just that little bit trickier. You almost got to just play it and ignore it. Just ignore the bowl in front there and just play it. And if you hit the bowl in front, well, unlucky.
Yeah.
Trying to work round it, or you certainly can't be under it. Under it will whip away. It just gets in your head otherwise. So just ignore it, play through the bowls as you would play it. And if you hit it, well, you might get the result with it anyway.
So it's ticked over 10 past 11, so we've been going for 2 hours, so you won't see a little bit of slowing from this point on, from lunchtime?
I don't think it'll be that noticeable. I don't think. There might be a little bit. There might be half a second or something like that, but I don't think it'll be that noticeable.
And, of course, all your games are PM, so that's a little bit different as you get to that 5 o'clock. That's,
of course,
very good. Lisa Featherby goes through. Is the shottist, which means they could be holding 2. So Caitlin has not a bad setup where she's got 3 of her own that she can get into, shift them.
She's got to get her head around getting past this front bowl with a little bit of speed on, and that's where they've just had trouble getting that line.
Yeah, just got to trust, still got to trust it. Crosses head far enough that it won't cause Lisa any trouble, but she obviously can only play that one hand. The other side of the head is owned by Osburn Park, so Lisa's just played a cracker. Can she have 2 of them?
Leeming extended to 55-16 in the one white flag playoff, so just about locked that one away.
Yeah, long way back from there. Not sure how many ends they've played, but I'd suggest this would have been similar because
about halfway.
Yeah, halfway. So Lisa, as we get a bit of an
this will get whipping home, Doug. This will be whipping home late. How's the speed? We can't quite see the bowl yet. Just about to come into view. Not quite.
Not quite. Not a long way off what she's intended to do. So Caitlin's going interesting mat position. She's using every inch of that mat. She just knows she has to get around, and I think she's seen the error in her ways with that first bowl, as you pointed out. Must trust that height.
The issue is she doesn't want to correct both here.
Yeah.
If she corrects line and gives it a shove.
So,
well, she's not bad. How's the speed? How is the speed? Not quite going to be enough to do it. Great effort.
The other one laid flat might have been better, but anyway. I think the consensus is 2. They agree on 2.
2 more to Mosman Park, and they make it 18 shots to 5 now. And they've just crept away. Well, I say crept away. They've won 6 of the last 7 ends, and 4 of them have been multiples, so they really have stormed away to lead this one now in a decisive lead.
So N6 was when the game changed with that 5. Like getting a couple's one thing. Getting 5 is a significant number in this game, Clive. You don't want to be dropping 5s, do you?
No, well, and that was an unfortunate one for Osburn Park. They really didn't do a lot wrong to drop 5. It was a little bit of a fortunate one for Lisa, but since then, Mosman Park has absolutely held sway, and a big part of that has been Wendy Stour and Jenny Galotti's efforts as lead and second. They've been unstoppable.
I listened to you and Ken in commentary, and you were super impressed from the first bowl with Wendy and how she was
three of her
performed.
first bowls were perfect.
Yeah.
Until we mentioned it, and it might have been 5 out of their first 6 until we mentioned it, and then we got her with a bit of commentator's curse. But another great start there. You land your lead bowls there and closer, just in behind the jack. You're going to get clapped all day.
Right, and give me your words of wisdom on about when you have to have shot. You don't have to have shot with the first bowl.
You only have to have shot when you're counting them, Doug.
Yep. Sandy Tope has, since I've
It's all a setup. It's all a setup as you go through the end. Make it easier for the next person that gets on the mat, and you're doing your job.
Yep. So Wendy wasn't that far off with the first one. So that's the beauty of this game. You get a chance of redemption. And this green, being as kind as it is, will just about run that down onto the jack. So well done to Wendy Stour. As we see Wendy Flack pull up a chair, getting under a bit of shade.
Bowls WA board member, of course.
And has been a busy little Vegemite doing the rounds. So when you just quite heavy work with Clive before? In commentary?
She hasn't got a microphone on.
She hasn't got a microphone, but she can hear. She has got ears on that do work. So I just need a yes or a no would be suffice. So no. So rightio. So here we go. And just right on cue.
Well, Jeannie's just nudged Wendy's bowl. I don't know that she's done enough to make it shot, but great effort. Terry's got a nice angle to play here. Just came up short, so Jeannie.
So second year I think it is for Jeannie to be at Mosman Park. Big year last year.
All right, we can bring Wendy in. How are you, Wendy?
I'm good, Clive. Hello. How are you, Doug?
And a great day. It's quite the spectacle, isn't there, when you're out and about? I notice you've gone from green to green and sat behind a few different games. So yes, lots of colour and lots of good bowls.
Yeah, lots of good bowls. Close games.
Speaking of which, Terry Barrett's nails it on cue when we're talking about good bowls, right on the front of the jack.
Yep, and a good time to do it.
Been another fantastic season, Wendy.
Oh, amazing, yeah. I reckon it's one of the tightest Tuesday comps that
Well,
I've
look
seen.
at the last round. I mean, the last round was an incredible finish with Osburn Park grabbing top spot in the basically on the last few bowls of the round.
Yep, it was really exciting, and the challenges during the week have been incredible too in the finals games. A lot of close divisions.
Great reply here. Sorry, Mosman Park. Oh, Clive. That was Claire, just passed underneath.
The comment was made to me that it's the first time that Osburn Park, in their knowledge, has finished on top of the ladder. I know our memories don't go back forever, but interesting, certainly in Helen's time, then they pinch that on the last end, and it makes a big difference because you get that home ground advantage in game one of the finals, and then of course then you go to the next highest position player for which they proceed to go to Manning, and then of course neutral ground for the grand final, as we see after that cracking bowl from Terry Barrett's. So Cheryl Tyrrell, she has got the opportunity to add on the way in. Is not her, or it is not hers. That she's just tugged that tight and pulled up a tad short. anyway, she's got the beauty of that game, as we say. She can correct. So Wendy, so busy year for you. Women in bowls, leadership. So I'll get you to just give us a little bit of an insight into that, because being ladies' pennant final, I'm really intrigued and would love you just to expand on that. Just maybe when we get to the last end of this, and then
watch the
grab
bowls.
hold of it, watch the bowls.
Very close here for Claire Hughes. What a shot this is. Caught the edge of the jack but missed the bowl. Wow. So close. Looked like she was all over that. Just didn't quite get the result. So Cheryl Tyrrell breathing a sigh of relief that she's not down a few here. With Claire Hughes, if she'd landed the bowl, would have made 4 or 5 potentially for. Landing the bowl and a little touch of the jack could have made any sorts of numbers. Well, that one's going to drift away. Just give you some score updates, because we do have the latest score updates have come through. So Leeming still leading 55-16 there. We gave you that one. Manning leading 42-14 over Warnbro. That's in the One Green South playoff. Mount Lawley and Wanneroo, there's been nothing in that. Every time we've done an update, it's been one shot. And Wanneroo leading by 1 shot there in their quest to go back to back to back in One Green North. South Perth leading 34, Rossmoyne 26. So a bit of a comeback there for Rossmoyne. And Como leading Sorrento 32-21 in third division. Won't please you too much, Wendy, but there's still a fair way to go.
There's always time for a comeback.
Of course, Wendy's allegiances to Sorrento. I want you cheering for everybody, but we've all got our clubs.
Yeah, I just love good bowls.
Yeah.
So the Women in Bowls Leadership.
Yeah, please.
Please start now.
Yeah, so funded by the Australian Sports Commission and Bowls Australia, with some help from our local state association, Bowls WA. Drew 12 women from around Australia together, all different stages of their bowling playing career, as well as the jobs that they do in bowls, club people, administration, high-level performers, just club bowlers.
So how much room to draw another counter here, Clive?
So Caitlin on the forehand, just looking to tuck in. She's played this well all day. Just needs to be gentle with this now. Bowl first. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it nicely. She's played really well. To be down 5-18, she's actually played really well. Wendy?
Yeah, so we came together. We've been doing some online get-togethers, and we had a face-to-face in Melbourne for 4 days, which was incredible.
Some great people involved in that group.
Oh, amazing women.
Big weight here from Lisa. Sorry, Wendy. Big weight looking for movement of bowl or jack.
Oh.
Caught the edge of the bowl for no result. She got one of them out, I think, but still Osburn Park holding shot.
Or is it 2? And just the one?
I believe it's just the one.
Just the one? So it's a redial shot, as they say. First one she played to perfection. This one might be a little bit of the Snoop Dogg. A little bit too much grass has been taken there, and just the one. But it was a cracking good one, and needed to. So, and as you were saying, Wendy?
So we all came together for face-to-face, 4 days in Melbourne. Had Matthew Kennedy, the CEO of Bowls Australia, join us, along with a few other people. And from that we have developed a working group based on grassroots clubland to see how we can improve bowls, not just for women but for everyone, make clubs more inclusive. So the goal of the program is, it's not all just about women, it's about women who happen to be in leadership positions, and what we can do, what we can change to make bowls a better sport for everyone. We know it's all inclusive anyway, but we've just got to make sure that happens in clubs around Australia.
Very good.
Well done. I know most of those ladies, and you certainly have got a powerful group that you're working with, and Matthew would be an ally, I'm assured, that he's just a very, very good CEO of Bowls Australia.
Yeah, outstanding. He's actually the one who has got us going on a working group where we're actually giving feedback directly to Bowls Australia in terms of what's really happening in clubs.
So as we talk about opportunity, as both leads, as much as it's not massively was wrong with that bowl, the fact is that there is room for Wendy Stour to get inside that.
This is also a dangerous line. This side's going to get that little bit wider. It's probably more the weight with that one. I think with a bit more weight, though, she would have been dropping away on that line. So just these changing conditions a little bit, just with the breeze, that's all. This one's going to be a little on the tight side as well, I believe. Just have to believe what it's doing. This will whip away late. There it goes.
So the voice of experience there knows this green inside out, although he's been very reluctant to tell me too much about the conditions, so we're not hearing any of the wind come through there. So hasn't been overly sharing about any of the conditions and how they change during the day, Wendy, as sort of expected.
He doesn't like to give away anything just in case he plays against us next time round.
And Wendy's
we will be here on Saturday, so on these rinks. So yeah,
I'll be in Broome.
Will you?
No, I've got regional men's health commitments.
Oh, very good.
So wear different shirts.
They do a fantastic job, regional men's health.
Yep. So albeit mine's a quick visit, and I'll be back for the Sunday games.
Now, is this one going to hang on, or is this going to drop away?
May.
Well, it hung on a little bit more. That's just the slightly different bowls, potentially.
And shot.
Now, Jeannie, she's been dominant. She has. She's made the difference here in this rink, particularly in the last few ends where Wendy hasn't quite nailed it as much as she was. Jeannie's been there to say, no, I've got the goods. Needs just to get down late, and it will. Here it comes.
And Lisa's willing it to fall in.
That'll have done enough for shot.
I think so. Yep. Lisa indicates to us that it's shot. So Terry Brett, she uses a SRVs. Been playing bowls for 7 years. Played at Quins. Has won a singles title up there, actually. Just hangs a bit high there. Right out. There's another one for Jeannie. And we don't have BOGs on for this, but on this rink she's been exceptional, and part of the reason there is a 13-shot lead to Lisa at this point of the game, albeit a fair bit left to go.
12 shots, yeah. 12 shots at the moment, 13 ends gone. Sorry, Doug.
No, correct.
Yeah. Great shot here. Look at this. It's just been a fantastic display. She just landed on the rink and has just nailed it right the way through.
I'm thrilled she's bowling well because I'm playing with Jeannie in the pairs at Safety Pay on Friday week.
Oh, very good.
Keep it up, Jeannie.
Very nice. You know how to find a good teammate, Wendy.
Always looking for the best teammates.
You'll see what happens with halfway. What are we? We've played 41 ends, so still a bit of journey left to go. Possibly have a headache still by then, but who knows. See what happens. Long way to go. So we're going to see a change of hands. Certainly looking to protect that very good shot that they hold at the moment, or two shots actually hold at the moment.
So Claire, it just doesn't quite look right. I think it's just going to drop away.
Easy to do.
Fair effort, wasn't far away.
No, it wasn't. There's only one thing left to tidy up there, so, and she'll know that all too well. So since I've been in the chair, Cheryl's actually played some really important and significant bowls, and if ever it was needed to do it, it'd be right now, and especially with some catches in play. But that'll go early. And
it's all about trust. It really is. It's all about getting out to that line and believing that it's going to come back. As soon as you try and pinch it, you get yourself into trouble.
So that will be not so much in a line as in an eye, but she just has to trust that that bowl will shape back in. Don't let that determine.
Well, Claire's gone out very deep here. And can she find a way in amongst these? Just needs to get down underneath.
another foot of weight would have been job done as far as with somewhere to protect. That's if Caitlin wants to have a play with be a little bit more adventurous, like you talk about. She needed another foot would have covered that shot to.
It's hard to get the jack exactly where they would want it. They'd love those Osburn Park bowls to be another 2 feet past. They'd love them just to be a bit further down. But there is a shot there, and look, trailing 44-25. There does come a time where you've got to play one of those and try and create something.
So at 41 ends, Clive. Plenty of time left, and then just stay in it and wait for a better opportunity, or find that opportunity now.
You need a spark. Osborne Park need a spark. Sometimes that means you've got to take a punt. Looks like she's just on the draw. Tell you what, it's a pretty good line for the draw. How's the speed? I don't know that it's quite there.
It's just going to started to shape now, so it'll keep shaping and pull up.
The line was great.
It was. But it wasn't a creative weight to be able to spill that jack, so it tells you their mindset maybe is to hang in there and hopefully the luck happens elsewhere. Lisa, one that's very much game aware, that should be looking across the other rinks and knowing who won what and how many were picked up next door. So she's got a much better setup. She's got room to draw a third shot. And as she pointed out, you just got to trust the fact that it is wide. Just slide underneath that wing bowl.
Played this fairly well.
Yes, she has. Very well.
Doesn't want to sit just outside it. That's a good bowl, but she'll be regretting how that's landed.
It'll be a good bowl if no one uses it to guide in and slide in. But anyway, it is what it is.
Caitlin has to reach with this. There's nothing for short. So she has to reach to land those bowls. And the ideal result is just catching an edge of the jack and then the edge of the bowl. She trickles over and perhaps they're holding 4 or 5.
Goes with it. Yep. So it is
just any piece of that jack and it'll go far enough.
Time is nigh. So this is Moz will look for it now. Experienced enough, she knows the situation. So a few extra revolutions on that one, Clive.
Well, she's certainly reaching this time. She's right in the area. She's played it really well. Gets the edge of the jack. Didn't quite move it as far as she might have liked, but it's a great shot. Might have made 2.
Even if it's only made 1, it's still sensational bowl.
Yeah, I think it probably... Look, I'll probably sway towards only 1, but the potential for 2.
So we wait for Lisa to one more bowl to complete this end. Task in front of her is she's 1 down.
Yep, using weight. Looking to go and try and get to the bowl or the jack. She's very close, just going to be on the outside. So is it just the 1? There's no signal, so I'm sure 1. Yep, there is. Yep. So 1 it is, 18-7 now, the lead on this rink, and Mosman Park still in control.
All right, guys, on that note, I might tootle off over to the other green and see how Sorrento are fighting back.
Very good.
I'll catch you guys on Sunday. We've got the big country metro game in the afternoon.
It's a massive day on Sunday.
Yeah.
It'll be a really exciting day, so we look forward to it. Thanks for joining us, Wendy.
No worries. We'll see you then.
No worries. Thanks, Wendy. So, no coaching from the sidelines?
Yeah. Me, no.
You're back? Yep.
I'll watch the scoreboard and I'll know whether you've started coaching or not. Anyway.
See you guys.
No, good on you. See you, mate.
There you go, Wendy Flack there. Fantastic. All right.
So, Ross Bolton working tirelessly as per usual, running the scores back in, give us an update. Thank you, Ross.
Yep, we'll get those on the screen shortly. We'll just update our graphics and then we'll be able to bring you those updates.
And on cue, so a little bit loose the last couple of ends, but back on song, so had a cracking game as a lead, and we know the importance of a good lead in any game, let alone a grand final, so well done, especially working in closely and with good mate Jenny Gallotti, so you know, a combination of lead and second that are plastering the jack is really important. So Sandy Tope, who has been bowling pretty well in my book, just slides this one tight, and as again we always highlight and talk about, you just got to trust the fact this green has height, has a bit of, so if the minute that you tighten up, you will be right away. So no expense spared. Bowls WA have unleashed a biscuit. I'm still in shock that we haven't had to share one. Normally when I get anything given to me by Ken, I have to have a taster, have the first bite and wait 5 minutes before I'll eat the rest of it. But rightio. So Terry, who has been bowling quite well since I've played some really significant bowls, and another time with the scoreboard how it is, needs that, and we'll just cross over, Clive. So tell me about the scores and what's happening around the traps.
Yep, so as you can see on screen there, Leeming leading 69-18 over Morley. Wow. Manning leading 48-14 over Warnbro. It's Mount Lawley have nudged their way in front in the close one. It's been close all the way, 32-29 over Wanneroo. South Perth in control there, leading by 20 over Rossmoyne, and Como hanging on at the moment, 32-24. But Wendy Flack's on her way over there to try and have an influence in that one. So we'll see what happens there.
I'll just write down the score as she goes before she starts. So Jenny, unlike Jenny, pulls up one short.
Yeah, well, these are the little opportunities that Osburn Park have to take if they're going to bridge this gap. We'll actually give an update to the aggregate on here as well. So we're 28 to Osburn Park and 45 to Mosman Park at the moment. Great shot from Terry Barrett's, lands right on the jack.
So a bit of chatting going on there. So you a talker, Clive, when you bowl, or you're just head down and get job done?
I don't know how to answer that. I'll just play.
You just play?
Yeah, I mean, you concentrate on what you're doing, don't you?
Yeah. Although I have played against you, so I should be able to answer that question myself. But I won't. Occupational health and safety reasons. So Terry Bretts, as we've pointed out, has been playing very well. She's got the split coloured. She's got SRVs. Is there a preference for this surface, Clive? You use a...
I use a GTR. Yeah, look, I prefer a turning bowl on the synthetic surfaces. I think you get better value for your shots. Cheryl's right in the area here.
Great bowl by Cheryl.
She needs to nestle in. Well played.
Perfect.
Pop the jack slightly. Doesn't really do any harm by doing that.
And so, interesting. So we talk about you don't have to get shot. So she's just looking. Lisa is asking, just give me one in the head. You'd be thinking maybe she would have swung to the backhand where there is a clear run to the jack. But
and as you say, backhand, Doug, just to clarify that.
She's a left-hander. Sorry.
Claire is left-handed, yep. Now this one it's trying to run the distance. It's trying to run the journey. Super effort.
Third shot. She'll be happy with that. So it's a bowl in the head.
Super effort.
Creates maybe not a lot of extra danger.
If I'm Osburn Park now, I'm tempted to change to the forehand. They've got their own bowl coming up. Caitlin's thinking about it. And forehand it is.
So they could just hear what you were saying. Yep.
Well,
and she can slide off that face.
A couple of little shelves there, yeah. Absolutely.
So.
Tuck the jack away. The tuck the jack away is hard because it'll be going sideways at the end. So the line here is almost outside the that front bowl that's coming up. when I say it's almost the gap between the two bowls, that's the line. It'll be belting back late.
So I think she's got licence to play with a metre of weight to pop those two shot bowls. So Claire Hughes, left-hander, on her backhand, on her forehand rather, being a left-hander.
Lisa Wright on the line, unfortunately. Going to happen occasionally.
It does. There's more at stake than a normal week of bowls, being a grand final. So
hopefully Lisa will move for us, because I wouldn't mind having a look at this head and showing where we need to come, but I can't do that while Lisa is standing there. There she goes.
She goes.
Right.
Anyway.
So let's have a look here. So the line on the draw and the forehand is almost actually in here.
Yep.
You can do enough there. Underneath is okay, but it's likely to be chipping the jack down the line. So if you're coming in here, we're likely chipping the jack down the line because it's going to want to be going sideways as it gets down here. Right. So it'll be that's the options, and a little tuck of the jack away is all right. So it'll just be a matter of working out whether it's a draw shot or whether it's looking to tuck the jack away.
So Lisa's shot, she won't be looking at that. She'll be looking to the other side.
Lisa will definitely be looking up on this arrow here and looking to come in this line in here. Yep.
Anyway, maybe determined by what happens with this ball as well. So Caitlin has a couple of different lines she can choose to get a result.
You can hear a bit of talk across the ranks about fighting it out to the end and all that sort of stuff. That's all good, but there needs to be someone that just tries to find that spark. There's Caitlin in the area here that she needs to be on, and that's that gap we were talking about. But just with perfect weight, that'll come in there. But just with a little bit quick, a little bit of insurance perhaps if Lisa chases this.
Lisa, if she goes on her back, now she's looking to the forehand, as you said.
Well, she's looking right underneath on the forehand.
Yeah, that's right. She'll have a different line and different intent. Having watched Lisa, I did think for a minute she might have gone big on what would be her backhand, the other one, and try and get hold of those two, but she wouldn't go chipping her ball.
Well, I think she's liking that shot forehand. I think she's looking at that same shot, but forehand.
Yeah, absolutely. She'll be underneath that ball. She'll play with a different sort of intent.
She's got choices.
But she can only play one bowl, so she better work out which choice it is. You don't want to...
Looks like backhand.
Yeah, and that weight. So it is a bit of a go-to for her, is play that weight, and especially on the backhand. She prefers weight on that backhand than forehand. It's been my observation, especially if she's driving big.
It's not much more than just a draw shot. I'm just going to float past. Well...
interesting.
That might have been an investment for her next bowl.
Maybe.
Caitlin will no doubt stay forehand.
Yes.
Home bowl coming up.
So the end rink's got out to a lead of 11. Tightish in the middle.
The Osburn Park's just snuck ahead on the middle rink. That's Helen Stevens against Chris Ace Watson, just by the one shot. Now, Caitlin, on a slightly better line, it's more the weight. So round that bowl, this will swoop.
Great effort.
Just too much weight to stay in the count, unfortunately.
But got a lot of that right. Just didn't get quite as she would have liked. Just run through just out of the count. So Lisa, like you said.
Well, Lisa's comment was, I can't make it a whole lot worse, can I? So I think she's thinking about the attack here. Yep, solid weight up here on the forehand side. It's close. It's very close. What's she doing with these bowls? She's run through the gap. Wow.
It was just the one. She did cut one out. So
All sorts happening there.
yes, I've got it. No, I haven't. No, you definitely have.
One more to Aussie Park is the result of that end, and after 15 ends, it's now 18-8. Aussie Park have strung together 3 ends in a row here.
Albeit ones, it's still
Yep.
helpful. And just breaks.
Stopping the run. Yep.
While they're scoring, Mosman Park aren't, so that's just as important sometimes. 47 completed ends, maybe that's 48 after that one. So hopefully they've all been drinking plenty of water because it is warmish, Clive. I'm not sure of the temperature, but it feels like it'd be...
It actually feels like it's gone up in the last 15 minutes,
Yeah.
so I was actually going to comment on that.
Yeah.
35 degrees, we're told. So it is warming up. It's still not unpleasant, but it is warm.
So Ken takes a seat, bemoaning the fact we haven't eaten our biscuits, which makes a red flag for me, Clive. But,
well, no good giving us a biscuit we can't eat. That's the that's the problem.
Yeah, so you could have given us a chewy.
Can't munch on a biscuit while you're commentating.
Yeah, but anyways, great attempt.
Yeah.
So I'll be departing the scene and we'll go back to the...
Excellent. Thank you, Doug.
So I'll hand it back, and as for Peter's enjoyment, I'll go back to the B team, Peter, if you don't mind. I'll get this final ring in a minute saying, giving me a lecture. But anyway, thanks very much.
All right. Sandy. Just passing on the outside. Looks like that one might find the ditch, so not quite nailing it there. And Wendy had to wait with her first. Now, is this one going to get all the way back? I think it is. This is a very good bowl from Wendy. Beautifully played. And sits right alongside it. Welcome back, Mr. Pride.
Thank you, Clive. Mentioning the other games around the Cambridge area, and just get a bit warm out there, I'll tell you, in the sun. It is quite warm now.
I think over the last about 15, 20 minutes, it just feels like it's taken hold a little bit more.
Yep.
Going to be a warm afternoon.
Greens certainly slowing down considerably on some of the back greens at Cambridge here.
Yeah, I don't know whether we've noticed it so much on here. Still nice finish. But the warmth will do that. .35 degrees is the number at the moment.
Yeah, not surprised. As I said, in the sun, quite warm. So I think we're all, well, no pun intended, but sweating on the sea breeze to get to us. But certainly no sign yet. Whatever puff does come in is probably still, looking at the flag, still a little easterly.
Yeah, early afternoon is the forecast for the sea breeze, so we may be done. We may be done by the time that comes in.
Well, refreshing Coke, no sugar by then.
When it still reads 34 at Hillary's, the breeze is not in yet.
Yep. No, hopefully the girls and a few boys are getting some water into them. Yep. Just under a third of the game to go in most of the rinks.
Well, that last bowl of Terry just balanced on the edge there. Yep, stayed up. Edges are pretty good here. Well,
Raking through there, and
what's the Jack doing?
gets enough of it.
Don't know about
Not
that.
quite enough of it. I thought it was going a little further back than that to the other bowl.
That's close now. Close for shot. May still be one to Mosman, I think.
Did I get a cool breeze on our backs then, or did I imagine that?
There's a breeze. I'm not sure it's cool.
Too bad, that one.
All right, Cheryl Tyrrell up here on the backhand side. Just needs us to break a little bit now, and it's close. In the area.
Hits that bowl. That's a super shot.
It's another one in the area. Still not sure who's actually got the shot. I'd probably favour Mosman still, just.
Yep. Lisa with the finger up. She's comfortable with the shot. Claire on her backhand, of course, left-hander. Can't get much further than this, ditch to ditch. Certainly has the height. Needs to run a bit, I think, Clive.
Yeah. So Cheryl wasn't far away with her previous. Any contact on that outside split colour would bring it in for shot. Any movement on it, really, coming in on that hand. Or she can draw the shot herself. A little touch of the jacket, be okay. Got a bowl sitting just behind. There's every reason to give this a chance.
She's done that. Going to get down to her own bowls. Gee, it's trying hard. A couple of nice.
That's a very good effort on that hand. Not an easy shot up there.
Seems to have a bit more potatoes behind it, Clive.
Definitely.
Get under her own. Oh, she absolutely stiffed it.
Oh, wow. Brilliant. Brilliant. Claire Hughes
Super shot.
nails it. Caitlin's still got a shot to play. She'll still be able to play backhand and try and land on the bowl or move jack. That's still well and truly on.
Where can the inspiration come from, Clive?
Well, I was just thinking that. I was actually just looking across and thinking the same thing. I was just looking across and thinking there's not a lot of energy out there. It's getting warmer, so that energy's harder to find. It needs a create. Something needs to happen here, and maybe it's Caitlin landing this bowl and maybe just getting a touch on the jack, just a little touch on the jack. She could make 4.
What do we got? Just under 20 ends to go to make 20 shots.
Yeah, something needs to happen.
It's not completely out of the ordinary, as if they're 40 behind with 20 to go, but they're just within touching distance. You'd think one more number for Mosman Park would probably seal the deal.
Yeah, well, it's just ticked along to 52 for Mosman Park because they just picked up another couple. Well, Caitlin's gone to the forehand side here and not quite made it. I thought the backhand sit the bowl with a tiny nudge of the jack was her best possible result, but forehand's where she went. I mean, the nudge of the jack's likely to take it too far away from the side bowls, but if you just grazed it, Lisa would just be looking for another one in the head here, another close bowl. Certainly, I think we can say Leeming are going to be celebrating the one white flag, Ken. They are way in front, 74 to 23.
Good shot here from Lisa. She's got the legs to arrive. Every inch is home, and she is
not quite.
Yes, talking about inspiration, I'm not sure Morley are going to find a lot of inspiration being rather. How's my maths going? 51 behind.
Man, incredible.
That's an extraordinary result, really.
So now Caitlin can afford a little bit more weight here, get down off her own and sit the shot bowl, and then that little movement of jack could be well and truly on the cards.
Well, she's
Needs
reached.
to get down on the inside of this bowl. Not quite. That was good weight for it. It was good weight to sit and just get a little nudge of that jack. Lisa won't be trying for too much here. She'll just look to pass her own bowl and just creep in there quietly for another one.
Yep, still got one more to go. Taking a long time to play it, though.
She won't really want movement of jack. She won't want to be wide and be turning any Aussie Park bowls in. She'll be just looking to pass her own and count.
Wouldn't surprise.
Bearing in mind, they've probably got 2 at the moment.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this pulls up 4 or 5 foot short.
The old emphasis on the quiet, a quiet draw with the emphasis on the quiet.
Yep.
Yeah, that breeze has dropped now, and that's where you feel the difference in temperature.
Good track again, Clive.
Yeah,
I think she's just going to fall off.
That's it.
Yep.
Didn't want to be wide.
No, I'm not surprised. I thought she'd be 4 or 5 foot short. He wasn't hurrying too much there.
I think Lisa was happy to take 2
Yep.
before she even played that bowl.
Yep.
So 20 shots to 8 after 16 ends here on our show rink. And the aggregate moves along to 54-29 in favour of Mosman Park.
Look at the games, Clive. We've already talked about the Morley-Leeming game. Obviously, that's kicked well and truly away.
So that's our last update that we've had. So I think it was provided by you. So or might have been Ross, might have been a Ross update. But 48-14 to Manning.
Yeah, they've kicked well clear, haven't they?
Mount Lawley 32-29. That's the one. Who's going to win that over Wanneroo? Looks like South Perth have got probably a match-winning lead there. And Como Sorrento, well, that could still go either way at 32-24.
Well, Como, remember, early on were well and truly in front, as were South Perth. I was just watching a bit of the South Perth game, got back to 7, and then South Perth, all on the same end, within 15 seconds, picked up a 5, a 3 and a 3. So sort of 11 shots within 15 seconds. Blew the number back out again.
Looks like that might be 57-21 from here. Is that? Yes, it's 57-21. We can just catch a look at that board. So
The Manning game?
Yep, so we will update that one for you as we speak. Oh, nice shot there for Sandy, but weight was perfect. Just would have loved it to just drop slightly more. So 40-33. Just bring those up. 40-33 is the update we've got for Mount Lawley and Wanneroo. And 40-32 to Como is what we're getting there as well. There you are. Just leave those up there for a moment for you. Well, just advances the Mosman Park bowl up for shot, so not quite what Sandy was hoping for there. Finding the gap. Well, I said finding the gap. Caught a little bit of the edge of the jack as it went through. No harm done, I don't think. But an opportunity now for Terry to get right on this jack. Time just feels like it's running out for a spark from Osburn Park here. Osburn Park have held sway throughout. They pinched that early lead. And Osburn Park haven't been able to peg that back. And we have that final update for you. 57-32 to South Perth over Rossmoyne. at the moment, and there it is there. So
2 still alive, I would have thought, Mount Lawley Wanneroo and the Como Sorrento games.
Seems that way, yeah.
Probably, where are we? 2/3 of the way, a bit more than 2/3
we're past
of the way
that,
through.
aren't we? Yep.
15,
so
16
if you're 20
ends.
behind, you're too far back now, you would think. That's what I was saying just now about this one. It's 25 shots now. It just feels like time's running out now for Osburn Park. They just haven't been able to bridge that gap from the early quick start that Mosman Park got.
Yeah, that 20 from sort of 18 ends was possible, but then the next couple of ends, Mozzie Park have scored. It's, again, the one rink that has been going well, the Helen Stevens rink, 18-13, really need to kick away in some way.
Okay, well, speaking of that, they actually did just pick up a number. 18-13 surprised me. So it is now 34-54, so 20 the difference. Still too much, you would think,
5,
against
10,
an experienced side.
15 ends now. When you start getting less ends than aggregate, you start to get in a bit of strife.
1.5.
1.5.
1.5's the
That's
bad
the number,
news.
do you think?
Yep.
That's the number. One day cricket used to be a run of ball, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you get to 1.5, 2's definitely too many.
It's about
to
3
try and
runs.
chase down, but
Three
yeah.
runs a ball now.
If it
nowadays.
gets above 1.5, you're in trouble. So it's sort of at that at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the girls were not quite going as well as they'd hoped today, particularly the leaving girls would like nothing more than to go inside for a cold drink. I know a couple of their players out there on the green with wet towels over their head, and even one carrying an umbrella up and down the green. It's hard work when the ag's gone, you know it, and you've still got 5 or 6 ends to go.
Well, a couple of rinks there have got 7 ends to play. There's potentially another hour out there. Now, Cheryl
Played this well.
needs to clear the
Around
front.
She has, and gets the guts of it.
Beautiful
well played. So it is.
They're the sorts of conversions they need.
You idiot!
Oh.
That's all right, I pay for those.
You can see that Caitlin has virtually painted that bowl white with the amount of touch of spray she's put on it. Welcomed by Cheryl.
Known from experience, Chloe, I think those black bowls were getting a little bit warm at the moment. Probably like a bit of white paint all over them. And it can get nice and hot on days like this, particularly sitting on synthetics all day.
Nice and close, Kerry, 3 down.
Well, it'll be wide and not even getting any luck from there.
Well, Caitlin has to try and pile as many in here as she can. She's got to try and find a way in here and get a couple more in and build some form of scoreboard pressure on Mosman Park here.
Needs to get the margin at the death to 5 or below. That's a stretch, I understand, but that's 28 at the moment, but needs to get down that to 5, 4.
There's 13 ends left at the moment, so it's 20 at the moment rather than 28. Only 20. That'll work. Oh, did the other one stay in? Might have done. It's close.
Well, it's going to be
revenge.
a bit of comeback.
Oh.
Just the 2 squirts.
I thought there might have been some touch of spray revenge, but
Yep.
only the 2.
No. More experienced head. They're not cheap, those things. So,
Yes, exactly.
A little more experienced head there, burning all of the touch of spray in one bowl.
Yeah, so Osburn Park just need to get a run of ends here. They need to get like 2 ends in a row on each rink, sort of thing. which is doable, and get that down to a 10, a 9 sort of shots, and just get Mosman Park thinking a little bit. They just haven't had to think about it at all at the moment. So just get them thinking about it. It might not quite be safe.
I think just one of those momentum. You pick up a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
If someone gets a 5 or a 6, then suddenly they get chirpy, and I said Mossie Park start to look for the finish line, but they need that number. Ones aren't going to cut the mustard. Lisa playing with weight. Geez, a lot to get through here.
Yeah, this is going to drop away. What's she doing on the front? Nothing.
2.
Still one bowl to come.
I think they're holding 2. Are they looking for a 3rd? No, 2 it is, thus far.
But must try and find a way in here for another. And is the danger? I mean, making contact on the shot bowl possibly makes 4 with perfect weight. You just want the slightest little nudge.
Have you got sunscreen in your eye, Clive? Let me tell you, it hurts.
You never put sunscreen above your eye line, Ken.
I didn't think I did.
Right.
Right, important bowl here.
People have said you're one-eyed before.
Big bowl, this one. Can she make 3? Fashion a number.
Looks this is out
high.
deep.
High, wide and handsome, I think.
Don't think it'll do enough to get round. So 2. Reduces the deficit to 10 shots on the show rink here. 20 plays 10. That's after 17 ends. Now across the boards, it's 18-13 to Osburn Park next door. We're about to get an update to that. Another 1 to Osburn Park scored there, I believe. 1 more to Osburn Park. So 37 they move to.
See, really up and back, Helen Stevens, the rink that's doing some of the damage for Osborne Park. Up 19-13 over Chris Ace Watson. Only got up and back to go. They would like her to stay out there for as long as possible.
Yeah, we haven't had any dead ends, so 2 ends difference is significant.
Yeah, the Premier League girls look, certainly looking across at the Leeming Morley game. They're probably 3 or 4 ends in front of them across the board.
Everyone started at the same time, so there's no reason for that. Okay. Mosman Park lead it by 18 on the aggregate. Aussie Park managed to make a little bit of a move there, but it needs to be sustained now. Need to win all 3 rinks ends once more.
Yeah, one's almost finished and 2 are only just starting. So, as you said, the 2 just starting just have to win these 2 ends coming up. The furthest from us, Denise Kelly playing Pam Chalmers. Can't actually see the jack, so can't give you any
right
idea.
At the back of the rink. Right at the back of the rink. I've got just a little angle on that.
Oh, so. Behind the ready bowl, okay. I'll say... No, in fact, Mosman Park do hold shot.
Yes. Well, that'll do enough for shot right here. Wendy. Look, Wendy started amazingly.
She did.
She's still been solid after that. Hasn't quite maintained that amazing standard. But the one that has maintained that standard has been Jenny Gallotti. She's been outstanding.
So fair to say the front 2 of Mossie Park have held sway?
Yeah, and look, that's nothing to say. Claire's played great as well, and so has Lisa. But they've had the setups because the lead and second have done such a fantastic job.
Yep.
So Jeannie will see whether she can overcome the commentator's curse. Oh, it's a nice line.
They need to stop.
Oh, I think this is pretty good. Oh, you're right. Just needed to pull up a little. Perfect line. Look at that. 77-30 in favour of Leeming over Morley. So that one, whilst it has a little bit of time to go, you wonder how long it has to go. Look, I wonder whether they get to 18 ends and potentially look at shaking hands. Nice shot here. Terry Barrett's.
Ladies don't tend to do that, Clive. They do tend to play it right out, win, lose or draw. Perhaps the heat.
Well, while there's a chance, you have to.
Oh, no
While
doubt.
there's a chance, mathematically, you have to. But once it becomes impossible, and I mean 47 behind with 17 ends left, it's impossible now. But once it becomes mathematically impossible,
Got to be heading for the lemon, lime and bitters himself. Whatever breeze there might be, they wouldn't be getting it there, Clive, either. The big stone wall, Jason, wouldn't be too much breeze getting through and over the top of that.
it looks nice, but it very much...
Lincoln hot, that's what it does look. Limestone wall, not far away.
Cheryl,
See, she a bit of Jack. Oh,
she has, that's okay.
2.
Another one on the board to Mosman Park over on rink 3. So 56-37. And Claire Hughes might just be going just too far for shot. It was a good effort.
Big bowl here. Just flop behind this one, make it a really solid 3.
You don't need that to hold a little.
So you got it out there? Don't know. Oh, that hurts. Chasing numbers, that hurts.
Well, Claire, with just a minor correction to make, a couple of feet. Well, she's gone out very wide. As much as this hand turns, I'm not sure that will. No, it's not going to get back. So, opportunity as it feels like it's getting warmer again. I must say, it's temperature is certainly climbing.
Hillary's
isn't the greatest guide because it does get cooler there very quickly. It's now a northwesterly, so we might be on a switch.
Northwesterly? It's not good. Storm weather. Northwesters.
Not sure we're predicting a storm. You're getting Mitch worried from our state singles coverage.
Apologies, Mitch. Look at Rottnest. Look at a sea breeze at Rotto. That's probably what we're looking for. Good shot here from Caitlin. This will count. This will drop in and not only count, it's number 1.
Well played. Northeaster in at Rottnest.
Oh, God.
That can't be a good sign.
No. Okay, so Lisa Featherby, 3 down. Looks to be travelling to me, Clive.
Yep, needs to land, and it's going to be just too wide to do that. So this is an opportunity.
Oh, landed that. Did she flick that in?
No change there.
No change, you don't believe?
Well, Caitlin has played well on the draw. There's no doubt about it.
Gee, she'd love the same bowl here. Make it 4.
Gets the ball away very smoothly. Looks good again.
Looks good weight to me. I think she's played a cracker here. There's 2 absolute whoppers from Caitlin. This one's even
doing
better.
With Jack.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Brilliant bowls.
Well, Featherby again will make the long walk. Well, is this the number, Clive, that potentially they're looking for? I think it's 4.
Yeah, we think 4. It would reduce the gap to 15 with
About 7 ends.
about 8. I was going to say 8.
8?
Yep.
Still difficult. Looking next door at the Helen Stevens rink, I think they're down because Chris Ace Watson's Orange Bowl is very adjacent.
All right, well, Lisa's back on the mat, so let's see what happens here. We think it's 4 at the moment to Osburn Park. She'll take anything that reduces the count here.
I think
She's
it's running.
not bad.
Certainly running.
She's very close to changing this around. That'll do it. That's well played. Now, the ball rolled onto the jack. I think it's only going to be 1.
Squeeze it right forward to the 2-tone bowl.
Yeah, I think it'll just be the 1 now.
Not giving it away.
Okay. Well, the bowl did fall on the jack, so has that done enough?
Squeezed it forward to that 2-tone bowl. Here's Mitch.
It's a great shot from Lisa.
Well, it was a great shot, Mitch, you had there.
Unfortunately, when the players are getting ready to play the end, so it was 2. So good players, good bowls from both skippers there. 20 shots to 12 after 18 ends on our show rink, and it reduces the deficit to 17 shots on the overall aggregate at the moment for Osburn Park, trying to chase down Mosman Park. Mount Lawley has moved out to 49-36 lead over Wanneroo, so they've made their move. It's been close all day, but Mount Lawley has put the foot down there. Manning leading 61-25 over Warnbro. A great start from Sandy, and Wendy coming up short with her first. So once again, Osburn Park just trying to give themselves an opportunity here. Looks like Mosman scored again next door, so they are up to 57 now. So this feels like it's too much now. 53-35 to Como. We'll bring all of these up on your screen very shortly. Great shots from Sandy Tope. Nailed it with a couple. And South Perth leading 65-35 over Rossmoyne. So here are your updates. I've got a feeling they've stopped doing the aggregate board in the Leeming-Morley match because I think that one is basically all over. So there you go, 61-25 to Manning over Warnbro. Mount Lawley have made their move, 49-36 over Wanneroo. South Perth leading by 30 over Rossmoyne, and Como look to have that one in hand against Sorrento. All right, well, Can Terry Barrett's find another one in here? Holding a couple. Courtesy of Sandy Tope's good work. Needs this to run that line because it'll be turning late. The weight was really good, and that's kept it around the place, but just turned too far to count. And now Jeannie, she's had the answers all day. Don't know whether this one will hang on.
Yep, little Simon Clive ducking across the head.
Just can't be any wasted bowls for Osburn Park here. They've got 6 ends left to bridge 17 shots. As we add another 1 on the board for Osburn Park. 6 ends and 17 shots. That wouldn't happen very often.
Yeah, we need a big multiple somewhere. Something above, probably above 5 or above.
Well, Cheryl got the journey here, because if she has, she's nailed the line. That's really well played. Well, that's 3.
Yep, skipper calls third. Claire Hughes down to the head. Let's have a look. This may well be something with weight, Clive.
Well, there's nothing in there for Mosman Park at the moment, and they haven't found themselves in this situation much throughout the day here. There's really nothing. There's nothing behind either. I think weight up there on what we would call the backhand if we were right-handed, but is Claire's forehand, being a left-hander, is probably the go. But the problem is, if you miss, you've still got nothing in the head.
Perhaps a sensible head will prevail.
Up through the front bowl.
Yeah, perhaps just a straight draw shot, just trying to sneak underneath that bowl at, what clock is that, about 2 o'clock?
Well, I think this is going to be bigger weight than that. Looking at Claire's preparation. Yep.
Indeed.
Needs it to hang on. This will drop. It's close. It's got the jack and killed it. So we're talking about dead ends, but we haven't had any dead ends. Well, we have now.
That was a good shot.
Yep, well played.
Good call, good shot. Played it well. Played it controlled weight.
Yeah, good enough weight to carry the line, which was nice.
Yep.
You try and go any less than that and it will want to turn. All right, well, we'll replay that one. That's why we've got the opportunity, Ken. Big thank you to the professionals for their support in conducting the season, the pennant season. Play a big role.
Indeed, yep. Looking forward to catching up with them on the weekend. One of our professionals directors actually plays for Armidale.
Yes.
And we'll see Armidale in the One Blue to
We
South,
certainly
One
will.
Blue North Grand Final.
Yes.
One of the 3 Grand Final games on Sunday at Aussie Park. So Armidale representing the South, Wanneroo representing the North. Interesting. Armidale quite dominated, really, the One Blue South competition this year, only losing a couple of the games. Remembering they've come up from 2nd Division last year. So the double promotion, 2nd Division to Blue South, and they're now Blue South up to 1 white.
It's a very good side.
It's a very good side. No, full of exceptional talent.
It's actually interesting, Ken. It's a little unusual because we actually know both of those. I mean, we would normally know that 1 blue final, but we wouldn't normally know the 1 white final. But we do this year because we know that it'll be North Beach versus Safety Bay for that one. That's for the pennant, and that's regardless of the results on Saturday. Those 2 sides, North Beach and Safety Bay, will play for the pennant on Sunday.
Yep, 1st and 2nd. Pretty straightforward. So 1st and 2nd in white will play for that pennant, but unusually neither guaranteed a position in Premier League yet. We'll know that Probably 5:30. Well, if it's North Beach, probably 6:30 on Sunday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon, even.
Saturday afternoon. Yes, I'm getting my grand final days confused. Yeah, that'll be a fascinating contest, as we said earlier on in the broadcast. Really interesting how a double view, for example, will play the North Beach green. They would have been used to it, having played on it plenty of times when North Beach have been in Premier League in recent years. That's a really good shot here again.
Wendy.
Blade wins. But yeah, we'll be playing against either Cardinia or Safety Bay. Both quick, turning greens, both synthetic, both got pace in them. So you would think that one of those two sides would be more attuned to playing at North Beach than Doubleview. So it'll be a really interesting contest that Doubleview need to win that, of course, to hang on to their spot in Premier League.
And of course the Premier League top four, Cambridge will play Manning and Mount Lawley will play South Perth. That'll happen here at Cambridge on Saturday morning. Of course Cambridge and Manning get the double chance. If they were to lose, then they will play in the afternoon against the winner of Mount Lawley and South Perth. And then those two remaining teams will head to Aussie Park on Sunday for the grand final.
Interesting. We did that, sort of looked at the honour board, if you like, the big shield. I was a little surprised, I must admit, how long since your boys, Cambridge, have won that flag. So obviously Mount Lawley are the title holders from 24-25. From memory was Manning 23-24, so obviously recent winners. You stretch back to 2010-11, is that right, Clive?
Yeah, that was before my time at Cambridge.
So 2010-11, and South Perth, even though they've lost 5 of the last 13 grand finals, their last win was on the back of 4 in a row, but it was 1970-71.
Incredible. And honestly, with the way the season's been, who knows? Who knows? Because even Osburn Park, who finished 5th, if they'd made it, were every chance to win the title. So it's going to be a thrilling finish to the season, and I'm sure there's plenty of those throughout the grades as well, where there's been some tight finishes, and who knows what's going to happen in some finals.
Yep, the last South Perth one. I remember seeing that. My father played in that one. If he was still with us, he'd be 106. That's how long ago it was. And Troy Kinnane's grandfather.
Oh wow!
The great Tom Sharp. So we'll skip it in one of those rinks. So
Aussie Park Bowl comes up, but not enough for shot.
A long time between drinks for the Millers. All right, let's get back to this one. Can Aussie Park make a charge?
They're down by 16, 5 ends to play, including these ends that are in progress.
Well, I don't think they can lose one end. I think they've got to win every end now.
Of course.
Irrespective of numbers, they just have to win every end.
One rink is finished. 2014 win to Osburn Park. Helen Stevens over Chris Ace Watson, but all the damage is being done on the other two rinks.
Yep, Cheryl just crashing into the pack. Looking for Claire just to get around this pack at, about 7 o'clock. Left hand. Going to swing that bowl back in. The weight looks pretty good. She's just a touch high. Will work back. Skipper's not unhappy with it. Didn't quite get back there. All right, Caitlin at the mat,
Let's try and turn this one in Osburn Park's favour. Solid weight. Well, she's on the outside bowls. Oh, well.
Great bowl, Caitlin's the call. And from here, Clive, 1, 2, 3, I would think.
I don't know whether that was done by design. I don't know whether she was just going straight for the bowl or what, but it certainly worked. Okay, well, it looks like 4 at the moment. Here's the one final twist.
Well,
a fairly big twist.
Lisa's played particularly well on these.
Yeah, but this is hard to get into, Ken.
Yeah, saving
Not
shots.
easy. She's still got 2 bowls left.
She misses these 2, and Caitlin can somehow sneak another one in for that 5 that we were chasing.
This is not automatic by any stretch.
It's certainly arriving, Clive. Doesn't want to plough into that purple bowl up the front. No, dodges that. Does it get through the hole?
Oh, that works.
Oh, my
That
Lord.
works. Well, I think that was deliberate. I do think that was deliberate to give it a chance up there. There was nothing for being outside.
No, I have no problems with that.
She had to play to land.
Yep.
Now, can Caitlin get that ball back out is the question.
She just has to play right through the head here. And the first bit of aggression really we've seen from her. And having
She's very close.
and having a good look.
Just going to be on the outside. I'm not sure Elisa will even play this ball. In fact,
No,
they've already started kicking them.
puts them in the pocket.
Yeah. So one it is, 21-12. That, with that,
Might
you
be
would
all she
think
wrote.
snuffs see out that last opportunity that perhaps Osborne Park had. And even with the 4, it was going to be a challenge.
Tend to agree with you, Clive.
In fact, it's 59-41. We've had another one on the board over there to Osborne Park. So they're now 18 in front with 3 ends to play. So this might even be the final end. A quick look at the other games and what we believe are the scores. It looks like, well, as I say, Leeming and Morley hasn't moved. That one is pretty much over at the moment. Manning well in front over Warnbro. They're still out in the green, but 28 versus 66, I think, is it? 28 versus 66 in that one. Mount Lawley, that's correct. 50 plays 38 over Wanneroo. Rossmoyne and South Perth. Well, South Perth well in front in that one, and it looks like Como's going to do enough to get over the line against Sorrento. That's still 53-35 with 9 ends left to play in that one. So, looking like all our games are just about decided. But yeah, there you go.
Well, I guess looking back on this season, Clive, we weren't entirely sure how it would play out with open gender and how many ladies may play Tuesdays or not. But as always, it's been a terrific season.
It certainly has.
I guess you could say the dominant 4 of ladies' bowls were once again first, second, third and fourth. Manning, Osburn Park, Mosman Park and North Beach.
Yep.
So, irrespective of the numbers they may have lost to the Saturday comps, they still have looked to dominate Tuesday ladies' pennants. Interestingly, we did those stats yesterday, Clive, that from the weekend, 64 clubs in metropolitan Perth, 32 of those will play finals in the open gender competition, so exactly 50%. And another 6 of those clubs to be added to that who are playing ladies Saturday.
Seems like a good number, doesn't it?
Yeah, so, just over 53% of the clubs will have some sort of stake in bowls over this weekend. which is a great outcome, really.
And we wish everybody all the best. Of course, we've got Thursday finals kicking off tomorrow as well. So there's plenty of action happening there as well. As Terry Barrett's has played this very well. Great shot.
Yeah, they're leaving some good stuff till a touch late, unfortunately.
Yeah, they just got jumped. I think it's as simple as that. I think Mosman Park, perhaps a little bit of experience speaking there, jumped out of the blocks where, you know, there might have been a few nerves tingling in some of the Aussie Park players, and they just haven't been able to bridge that gap. They haven't been able to seriously challenge that gap at all. It feels like 18's almost the closest it's been for some time, so just haven't been able to get a number and really push. I mean, you look when two of the Osburn Park rinks are on 9 and 12, and Osburn Park, the winning rinks on 20. There's just not enough shots there to win the match.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to grab the cards and just see what from end 11 onwards across the board it's been. It wouldn't surprise me if Osburn Park really had matched motors with Mosman Park. You said they got away early, got that 15 to 20 shot gap, and it's never really been bridged. So Aussie Park finding their feet in the second half. Not surprised if they outscored Mosman Park, but certainly by nowhere near enough. We'll see another running shot by Claire Hughes up the forehand.
Yeah, this will dip late, but might be just outside it, I think.
I think we're quite relieved that she missed that, Clive, quite frankly.
Yeah, well, we don't need a dead end at this point. I mean, you can't blame still playing the shots, but
rather playing a lovely draw shot rather than killing ends when it's almost mathematically impossible to win.
Looks like a couple of the games have come to a conclusion. See some of the players making their way off the greens.
Yep, the Warnborough girls packed up and moved off. Heads bowed a little lower than perhaps when they first arrived. They copped a bit of a shellacking from the Manning girls this morning.
Still, there's plenty of people who will love to be there, Ken.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing like being there on grand final day, waking up in the morning and knowing you've got a grand final to play. That's what we play the sport for. Looks like the Denise Kelly Pam Chalmers game has concluded as well for 24, comprehensive 24 Denise Kelly, Pam Chalmers 10. So 14 shot margin there. And in that rink, isn't she amazing? Renata Coote on that rink. That's
Ken, that actually means it's all over, because it's now 17 shots with only two ends to be completed. So Mosman Park are going to be our champions.
Yeah, well played. You know, for so long they've waited, and then they broke the ice last year with great excitement against in a wonderful win, and then for them to really hold their side together. Not sure if they've lost too many at all to the Saturday comp, and then to go back to back is a credit to them. Long time. Well, you can't say they're in the wilderness. That's silly because they lost so many grand finals in a row.
Yeah.
But grand final wilderness, if you like, and then to come back to back is a terrific effort. Good on them.
So I'm not sure whether we'll play the final end here. We'll just wait and see. They don't need to, but not sure whether they will or they won't. They'll complete the end that's in play.
Well, Leather Featherby driving.
Still
what
looking
is going on? Well, perhaps if I throw this table or chair out in the middle of their rink, that might suggest that they pull up stumps.
Okay, Caitlin back on the mat. Sometimes there's a feeling that you have to complete it because it's a pennant game, but that's not the case. So these are effectively knockout games now. So
here's the president saying, if you bowl that again, finance director, you won't be getting any breakfast at the next board meeting. Now, I think the word I've just heard from Deputy President standing behind me, Lisa, will try and get the result by charging through the head. But if it goes out of bounds, there won't be any replays.
Yeah. A little bit less weight with this one. Just looking to land in amongst it this time. She's close. And just missed. Normally when you yell Jack, you know you got it, but she missed on the outside.
That's probably the most excitement we've seen on the 2 or 3 rings all day. And the very bowl that finishes the game.
We expect that this will be the final bowl of the match. As Caitlin looks like she's trickling up here to add another. And she's done very well,
and she's played well, Clive. I know it's a losing ring. They've rolled 1, they've rolled 2, they've rolled 3. So at worst, it's back to 21-15. Yep.
Lisa and Caitlin are embracing and they've shaken hands. So this is it. Mosman Park will be our champions. We'll just get this final score.
Here's another one for 4. I'm looking for... Well, there's the 5. It's all come a little bit too late. Oh, they're going to measure. Does anybody want to get down their knees and measure when the game's all over? No. Yep. No, she's gone to the measure. So
well, the measure's irrelevant. We will say that Mosman Park are our champions for 2025-26 in the Tuesday Premier League competition, and they go back to back. What a fantastic performance! We were here last year when they broke the drought. And now they have gone back to back. They've had to do it the hard way this year. They've had to work through the finals program, and they've done it fantastically. They jumped on the rink. They did the job early. They put a gap in it early, and they just were never headed, Ken.
Yeah, indeed. Well played. As we said a moment ago, it's taken such a long time for them to get there. They've held the side together. A couple certainly play open gender, Lisa Featherby's and so on. But they've kept the guts of the team together. Very experienced. And going back to back in the competition is certainly well deserved.
All right, the final scoreline 59-47 in favour of Mosman Park over Osburn Park. Other results, we know that Leeming defeated Morley. These might not be quite completed scores, but we know there's a few games still out there being completed, but we pretty much know our winners. Leeming defeated Morley, Manning defeated Warnborough. Mount Lawley will defeat Wanneroo and take that one. South Perth have defeated Ross Moyne in second division, and Como victorious over Sorrento in the third division final. Ken, thank you for your hard work.
Good job, Clive, as always. No, look forward to it, and terrific days. Really good days, bowls by all concerned. Hot day, bit of breeze around, but I'm sure the girls and a couple of the blokes will enjoy a nice cold refreshment right away.
Alrighty, well that is going to end our coverage for today. Of course, Sunday, Ken, it is going to be on for young and old everywhere with the Premier League Grand Final, the First Division White and First Division Blue Grand Finals, followed by the Women's Metro versus Country battle. That's going to be another fantastic day.
Yep, do it all again. Osburn Park, look forward to it. Should be a cracking day's bowls on a beautiful surface at Aussie Park.
There you have it. It's party time for Mosman Park. They are our champions. We'll catch you on Sunday. Thanks for joining us.